Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Friday, December 1st. It's December. There is Christmas shopping happening. What? What? And yes, I'm a little bit late, a lot of bit late, because several things occurred today. One, I didn't eat anything all day, so I wanted to eat. So my breath smells rancidly like Caesar dressing, but it is what it is. Two, it decided it was going to sprinkle rain this afternoon. Just a little drizzle, not a whole lot. Not enough that it would actually disrupt, normal people driving. But there's a thing that happens when little drops of rain hit the pavement and the sun goes down a little bit earlier in the day, and people literally forget how to drive. They just forget how to drive. So that was fun. And then got home, decided I needed to eat something because, eat something. And here we are. So back to FNF. We've got Friday Night Frenzy after several weeks of being kind of dedicated to the Maya coverage. And we've got some other cases we want to kind of talk about, different stories. For those of you who are new to FNF, Friday Night Frenzy is a show where we essentially go through a bunch of different things in a more fun fashion. Serious cases, yes. We might have panelists coming in. We don't know. I don't really mind one way or the other. It's my chance to kind of talk to you after the end of a long week and walk through some cases that kind of caught the headlines that are of interest to me and various opportunities, if we do get them, to laugh from time to time. So grab a beverage, grab some popcorn, grab some food. If the beverage is alcoholic, if it's not, I don't particularly mind one way or the other. What are you guys drinking? How was your week? Talk to me. I don't get to do this very much with the chat. So how have you been? How have you been? It's been so hectic with the Maya case. I haven't tuned in and said some of my favorite things. What are you drinking? Do we have a beverage? Are we having some fun? How was our week? Did we have a great week? Did we have a terrible week? Do we have our Christmas shopping done? Where are you tuning in from? So, yep, that's essentially where we are. Been great, Debbie Blair. Wonderful to see you there. Having wine, Angie Freeman. Wine's a good choice, always. Ahead of you, doll. Whiskey in North Carolina. Rough week over now. Lemonade, wonderful. Rain here in Arizona too, Jennifer says. Arizona and rain is a combination that's a disaster. In bed resting, Magical Mary. Hope the rest is wonderful. Pam, bless you. You got a long, boring week. I did not. My word. Vanilla ice cream. That sounds right about on point. Whiskey and is needed, says Stacy. Aqua 46784. Tom Collins in about 25 minutes. Well deserved, Tom Collins, I imagine. Kombucha. Isn't that fermented stuff? Like, isn't that active fermented things? I don't know if that's good or not. People tell me it's good. Are you guys on the kombucha craze? Is it still a craze? There's all these different things that are everywhere. I don't know what to do. Kimberly Rudd has something that absolutely deserves a celebration. Officially 4 years cancer-free. Congratulations, Kimberly. I'm glad you rang the bell, and I'm glad that that bell keeps ringing year after year for 4 years straight. Congrats to you. Awesome. Hubby broke his leg in 2 places, Nanner. I'm sorry. Surgery day before Thanksgiving. He's bedridden. You're tired. I can only imagine. My gosh. Here's my well wishes for some quick healing. Coke, says Law TX. Cherry Pepsi in Illinois from Lola. What am I drinking? Okay, I am drinking Moscow Mule, but it's not, there is no fentanyl in this Moscow Mule. This is not Corey Richens. This is Moscow Mule sans fentanyl. Oh my gosh. Michelob Ultra making dinner. You have to work tomorrow. I'm sorry, Fallen Respect. Let's see. Let's catch up. Chat's flying. Melanie Schuyler says mountain popcorn, Diet Mountain Dew in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it's cold. We had a couple of cold days here. You guys are going to laugh at me when I say it got cold. It was 30 degrees. I'm sorry. That's still cold when you have like 60s and 70s the day before. Ancient Maverick, you went overboard on Christmas this year. One, I greatly encourage that behavior. Two, it's December 1st, so you're overly ambitious. And three, what is overboard on Christmas? What does that entail? What does that mean? Is it lights? I see Toxic Orchid in the chat. I see a bunch of others in the chat. Y'all are tuning in saying hi. Kristen M96 comes in and says, I've been thinking that Mrs. Hogbot should be the union leader. She'd have them organized and accessorized in a week. She probably would. For the next accessory, hang on. Icosaplex, no beverage me, tasty Indian curry instead. Ooh, yeah. That sounds really nice and warm and pleasant. So I accessorized this week as well in honor of some Black Friday shopping. And to actually talk about it. Hi, Ian.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Would you like to see the new accessory in the studio?
Um,
Are you nervous?
we'll go with yes, even though I'm nervous. I'm like, yeah, that's Rob. He wouldn't put up anything that's like not family friendly.
Look behind me.
Wow, you just need a disco ball.
Well, it's funny that you say that
Oh God.
because I am a
Rob.
child. I am a child. This is amazing. But I can also do that one. I can do a maze. Oh no, they have one in here that's called Stacks.
Do not.
It's Stacks colors. Oh, this is so great. It also has very festive scenes. Would you like to see the festive scenes? I don't care if you'd like to see the festive scenes. I'm going to show you the festive scenes. Festive. Here's Santa. So Santa's in the background. There's a Christmas
that Santa's
tree.
kind of creepy.
There's a Christmas tree. Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. Gingerbread house. Oh, this is too much fun. Oh, this is such a problem. The thing is,
Yeah,
oh my
don't
gosh.
give an ADHD person a light show machine.
No, don't do that. It's a terrible idea. We can do a moon. Where's the moon? There's the moon. Oh, that's a nice one.
Do not moon the audience.
I'm not mooning the audience. I'm showing them a moon, not my moon or the moon. There's moonlight. Ooh, that's nice. Sakura, what is that? Lovely. All these lovely little scenes I can create. What an amazing thing that this device allows you to do. There's a snowman, a waterfall. Oh, this is just nope. There are too many options for an ADHD person. There are way too many options. So, where's funny? There's a bouncing ball lottery. There's a rocket. There's a windmill. Oh, look, there's a cannibal flower. It's the Mario flower.
Okay, yeah, they just couldn't say Mario, so.
Yep. The seesaw. So that was my me acting like a child.
I was gonna say, Rob, you know you're a bit of a child, but that is perfectly
still
fine.
Love me?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Sorry I was a bit late. I was finishing up a video.
There's never a need to apologize. So now we can go, when I ever go code red, now I can go code red and actually go code red. But so we're going to leave it that lovely little twinkle light back in the back. So
I should get some
fun.
code red lighting.
You need to get let's see what code red looks like on this guy. Code red. Ooh, that's good.
Now, can you go code brown?
Well, I don't know if it's rhetorical or not, but I can go like that nasty color. Ooh. No. Well, no, there is. Hang on. There's got to be. Nope, that's not it. Turmeric. Bread. Oh, it can do code brown. These are the unfortunate things that we learn. So,
One of my
it is
favorite
what it
hot
is.
sauces is heavily turmeric based.
My favorite hot sauce or yours?
One of mine.
Mine's turmeric based as well.
Is it from that?
Yep.
Is it from that Hot Ones challenge? Yeah, that turmeric one is just so good.
That is one of my very, very, very favorites. So
I made a whole bunch of wings with it. I can say they were pretty spicy, but because it's one thing when you're having like a wing and then you're talking and whatever else, you're just like.
You know what's funny? When Ian says it's one thing when you're talking and then just stops and falls out of the chat. He's having internet connectivity issues. My hands were free. My hands were on my phone. I was playing with the light curtain back there. So I had nothing to do with that. Are the moving lights distracting? Are the moving lights distracting? Do we need the non-moving lights? I think we need non-moving lights.
That wasn't
Did Zora
good.
eat your internet cable?
She might have.
That was very unexpected.
That was. My computer just did a weird thing, so didn't like that.
Hang on, I'm going back to what I saw was a nice little, there we go. A nice little evening twinkle light in the background. So let's see. It's the gremlins. They're taking over. The AI is taking over. It is. The moving is distracting. That was what I thought it might do. So we can find there's a time and a place to make it moving and exciting, and there's time and a place just to leave it nice little twinkle background there. So yeah. What's it called? It's the Govee light curtain is what it's called. Like I said, put me in front of a Black Friday, like we're on Amazon, where it says, these are these deals that you might be interested in. And I might just be a little bit purchasey. So,
yeah, I usually avoid like looking at Amazon during Black Friday because otherwise I'll buy something that I'm just like, when will I ever use this?
but Ian, the answer is all the time. I fully intend to use this all the time.
So I poured myself some wine, and that wine has been sitting in the fridge for a while. And that wine
It needs Coke?
No, it needs sink. This is really bad. Really, really bad. I gotta go pour that out. I do have a little bit of scotch left because my video that I had to make was a scotch video. It's a video about a lawyer.
Well, and I noticed something that today is December 1st, which means
we can vote
right here. Debbie Swan with the super chat. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for the chat for reminding me. Gundies voting started today. Ian is up for video of the year and most dapper influencer. Vote every day in December. Yep. So the link to vote for Ian in the Gundy Awards is it's up in the top of the chat. And Ian's tie that he wore last year at the Gundy Awards is sitting right there behind that little light curtain. So,
and watch the video because it's hilarious. It's my get ready with me video. When you see me doing things with hot sauce in that video, everything I did with hot sauce was actually done with the hot sauce, which included putting some of this stuff on my face. And if you've watched the Hot Ones challenge, this is like the final boss hot sauce in the Hot Ones challenge. Do not put it on your face, people. It's It's a bad idea. I had some regrets for a while. So yeah.
What were the categories again? I'm training Nightbot on a new thing.
Most dapper and what do you call it?
Video of the year.
And video of the year.
All right, so Nightbot's going to be showing you guys that link. So there we go. So Nightbot is going to be sharing that link around. All right, stream distractions. First, it was the twinkle lights. Then it was the Gundies and trying to get that link posted. Then it was trying to get control of Nightbot, because Nightbot he's a wily fella. Yep, you gotta get control of Nightbot all the time. So for those of you who are wondering,
I've never used Nightbot.
It does help. I won't say that you kind of have to like it. It's not your be all end all. It's a bot, man. It just posts things.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got a bot in like the Roll of Law Discord that posts my videos when I put them up. So, which is great because before that, my mods were doing it, and that sucked for them because yeah.
So let me do this. Hang on, because I also wanted to pull something else up. I don't know if a lot of you knew, but I did a little trip this past weekend and had the lovely pleasure of hanging out with one of my mods, Sandy.
Ooh.
In the chat. Did I tell you that? I did tell you that. You knew that.
You
yes.
Did. But it's still polite to make the ooh noise. Because
it is polite. We had a lovely time. We had a most lovely time walking around in St. Augustine, enjoying the views, enjoying everything else. Went to the Leitner Museum, which I kid you not, the Leitner Museum, I had no idea what it was. And we go in there and I start reading off of the wall, and it basically says this museum is dedicated to the active hobbies and people that go and engage in hobbies, and how hobbies and people that engage in those types of things with the artistic side of their brain actually improve society. It's like, I promise I did not set you up for this. Like, this is not, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, so
Liar.
Sandy and I had a great time. And if you're ever, oh my gosh, if you're ever in St. Augustine, here's the thing. There's a restaurant. It's called Maple Street Biscuit Factory, I think. Go. Wait in line for however long you need to wait.
That just sounds like Canada appropriation if it's the Maple Street Biscuit Company.
It was one of the most delicious breakfasts I've ever had in my entire life.
Some of those breakfast places. Yeah.
Yep. So had a great time. Really enjoyed myself. That was this past weekend. Hung out with some other people. And I think one of those people might have outed the fact that I hung out with him. He might be appearing on the channel at some point in time for an interview. He might have been a litigator in one of the trials that I was covering. And he might have been born in St. Augustine.
I
mean,
let's narrow it down a little further, Ken.
I really didn't need to go that much further. I mean, it's kind of is what it is.
I mean,
yes.
If you were narrowing it down any further, we'd have missile coordinates.
Well, I'm not going to tell him the block and street address where we hung out. But we had a great time. And yes, I know that he did out me when he was doing an interview earlier this week. And I was being respectful of him and his privacy. And I wasn't going to post it until he told me it was okay. And then all of a sudden I'm listening to him doing an interview and yep, he says it. I was hanging out with Rob the other weekend. So it was a great time. It was a really wonderful time. St. Augustine is an amazing, amazing city. If you ever have the opportunity to go there, I strongly encourage it. It's beautiful, so much history involved. Oldest city in the entire continental United States that was not by native inhabitants prior to this, but it's the first established city. Really remarkable. So that was this past weekend, and then this week has been, I'm going to go ahead and say, a bit chaotic. Have I done live streams 3 days this week? I think I did live streams, and then work and all the other stuff. So this is what it is. How was your week, Ian?
I've been sick all week, and I'm still sick, and it sucks.
You're still sick?
Oh yeah. If I don't talk as much as maybe I normally do, it's because my throat is just ragged. Like just rough. It's I then went and recorded a video, which was a dumb idea because like 45 minutes of straight talking was is not what is recommended as a treatment for a sore throat.
But that's your logic. Your logic is kind of like, I'm sick, so why don't I go talk about a live,
I'm
like on a
sick, so I want to talk about the fun thing.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that. Is it getting cold up there yet?
It's actually unseasonably warm, which sucked because it was not great for hunting. But yeah, it's unseasonably warm. We have some frost outside, but normally by this time we would have like 3 feet of snow.
I was going to say, would you mind translating for me in particular what constitutes unseasonably warm?
Just a little below freezing instead of a lot below freezing.
Nope. Hard pass. No.
Normally I'd expect it to be like 15 degrees Celsius below freezing right now.
I'm doing the math. No, I don't like that. I like where I am. When I complain that it's cold and it's right about that freezing temperature, I like being able to complain about that. And no, hot toddies help in the interim, but they don't actually help the actual sickness. But yeah,
so
Shell says it's still too cold.
I've got to plan a celebration for probably early in the new year or the like. And I'm hoping it's going to be freaking freezing. Like, I hope it's going to be like 30 below.
What are we celebrating?
We are celebrating. And so I just signed paperwork to put the end to my mortgage. So like to, you got to do paperwork for like an advance payment. And so I'm like, all right, let's dig deep. Let's blow out some of the savings and let's end the mortgage. And so sign that. That will be going off. And so, yeah. Then once that is cleared, they're going to send us a document that basically says, hey, your mortgage is discharged. And then we have to take that to registries to get title cleared. And then once that happens, mortgage is done. So we're going to have sort of a mortgage burning party. And I am thinking,
mortgage burning party.
I mean, it's a good way to go. But I'm hoping it's going to be like 30 below, and then we can rent a hot tub. And because you don't want to own a hot tub. Owning a hot tub is dumb. But
you want friends that own hot tubs. You want friends that own hot tubs. I have learned this. I have a friend that owns a hot tub. You want friends that own the hot tub so they take care of it. Just like people with pools. Like, I have a pool. Ask me if I am glad that I own the pool like 90% of the time. The 10% of the time, I love it. 90% of the time, it's a pain in the ass. But yeah.
But hot tubs are amazing when it is
freezing cold.
When it's super, super cold, because you can do fun things like you dunk your head in and then you, you pull your hair out and you wait a second and it freezes. And so you can do like crazy frozen hair. So that's fun. And it's just really nice because you can sit in the, you can sit in the really hot temperatures, but because your head is cool, you stay comfortable. So hot
I could
tubs
do
are
the
fantastic and freezing
frozen
cold.
hair without the freezing.
How much gel is in that?
It's not a lot. I need a haircut, man. It stays in one place all day.
Oh, you need a haircut.
I need a look at that. Look at that thing. Look at that. Oh my gosh. What is that? What is happening? The problem is when you go get a haircut now, speaking to you, which is kind of an ironic thing that I'm actually talking about this. When I go to get a haircut now, and I watch when they cut off all the hair, I see a whole lot of gray. And now I know that what I'm saying is remarkably
Yeah, I remember that.
impactful.
I remember that concern back when I was like 16.
Oh, I see too much gray. It's too much gray. Now I'm not at the embracing gray phase yet. I'm at the resisting gray phase. So not quite there. But
the other amazing thing was so Mrs. Runkle and I at one point we went to the east coast of Canada, Nova Scotia, and we got an Airbnb. And the Airbnb we stayed at happened to have a hot tub that was like right on the beach.
mm-hmm.
And so it was getting like that East Coast ocean spray coming in as you're sitting in this hot tub. Oh my God, it was the best thing. I also love the instructions they had for the Airbnb, which is like, we know you're going to drink in the hot tub. Please
No
use
glass.
the plastic glasses that we've got in this. Please no glass near the hot tub. We have plastic cups for your use for the hot tub.
And the owners will gladly provide you with those plastic cups.
Yeah,
trust me, it's like someone who knows from experience. Yeah.
I was just like, you guys are so smart to plan this out. Because yeah.
Katrina says, I feel you in. My hair started turning at the age of 9. Oof. There's that. It's that gene. There's a gene where it does change earlier.
Yeah.
So, all right. We've got some stories to cover. I haven't run the intro. We're 27 minutes in. Should I run the intro? I should run the intro, right?
You should run the intro. I'm going to go get a drink because this little bit of wine that I thought was going to be just fine is freaking awful. It is the
go
worst.
Get a beverage.
Yeah.
I'm going to run the intro, and I will hold off. I will give people a rundown of the docket while you're grabbing a beverage. So we're going to run the intro. I'll be back on the back end of that intro. See you guys in about 25 seconds. And you know what? I kind of feel like I really need a laugh before we really get started. And I know people have seen it before, but I kind of still want to do it. So let's go ahead and I want to do the recovery addict one. I want to do the bugs. Can we listen to the bugs? Can we listen to the bug thing? I want to do that for 2 seconds. Not the bug? No? Dang it. I want to do the bug. Bugs? No bugs? Do we do bugs? We love the bug. You know what? The bug's like a minute. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute because I'm going to use the facilities with the bug because I didn't use the facilities before getting on live stream. So we're gonna see some of the makers that I love making content with experiencing some frustration.
Mary Murphy, member for 9 months, so they can't believe. Okay, stop. I need the Southern Febreze. Hey, can somebody bring me the Raid? There's a bug. There's a bug in my studio.
What in the world is that? Oh my gosh.
and I don't want to turn the camera on it because I'd have to zoom out so it would all fit in the camera lens. It just went behind the cabinet. You guys, oh my goodness.
There was this bug that had a huge, I think it's a roach, that had a huge thing of dust on it.
I will tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is this. That bug, and when I talk about bug, I'm talking, it's those, they call them water bugs here in the South. We know what they are, and they're not water bugs. That was like, it was the size of a small dog.
It looked like a monster coming towards me. Holy cow.
Unmute.
And occasionally when we get one of these that come inside from outside, usually when they fall down, they're around the leaves outside, but when they get into the house, I have words to say, and now it's literally crawling towards my green screen. So I'm going to be on camera like this, and then on the green screen, you're going to see a bug crawl across the wall.
I can.
This is bad, guys. It's going to be a bad day. I can't step on it because it was like at waist level on the wall, and my feet don't go that high.
There's a series of questions.
Oh, I just put my arm
based on what I heard Mr. Shapiro comment on about the 20.
Bug will be dead by the end of this show for sure. Bug has nowhere else to go. I mean, it's not like there are wires it can hide behind in here. Yes, cats will eat them. We're keeping the cat.
That's never going to get old for me.
See, when they have special guests, they're not cute. But when we've got a special guest, it'll be cute. Come on.
Which is it, Potter or Zora?
Zora. She's trying to figure out a way up. Come on. You gotta turn around. Come on.
There's a Zora. Oh my gosh. I see that you're keeping my client very happy.
I've got to, otherwise she eats the Ethernet cords.
Yep. So
it's mostly based on extortion, but
well, so would you like to hear the docket this evening?
You bet. Yeah, Mrs. Runkle is away, so Zora is like, I need attention. And once she got her treat, she was like, I'm going to go in case they want to take this back.
So the docket this evening is we've got 3 large topics and then 2 little side stories. Large topics. T-Mobile has found themselves on the wrong end of a lawsuit after one of their employees decided to steal some photos depicting someone, in a not so clothed state from the phone of a customer.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Uh-huh. So they're being sued for that.
I'm guessing there's the argument of intervening criminal act, and
I don't know, because it's also the way they charge it. We'll talk about it, because the way they charge it, I think, is very curious, very interesting to me. So that's one. Those food lawsuits that Emily loves covering. How
I love some of the food lawsuits too.
Well, one of the largest attorneys that files the food lawsuits just got sanctioned in New York.
That doesn't surprise me. A lot of those
lawsuit.
Yeah,
I know, but we don't hear about that too much. So I was very curious to hear about that one. And then the last story that we have, going back to my docket sheet, the last major story I've got is DBrand versus Casetify. And I had to look this up because I didn't realize why I knew those names. But Casetify, you will see kind of everywhere across the interwebs with advertisements for, a phone cover or a computer cover, something like that. And DBrand is their largest competitor. Well,
and you learned something about Canada. I understand.
This is a Canadian lawsuit, right?
Yep, but you learned something else about Canada. Documents in Canada suck to find.
I was looking everywhere. One of the reasons I was late to this stream is I'm sitting here scrounging for documents and can't find a damn thing. So we're going on articles. Why? Because it's Canada?
Yep, and oh, there's Zora in the background having a drink of water. So this is what you'd have to do to get that document. You would have to attend at the courthouse in person and fill out a form on paper with a pen and get them to do a search. And then you might get that back in like a week.
A week?
Yeah. Compare and contrast with the US, where I'm like, this is a stupid lawsuit. Let's go on Pacer. And like, here I've got all the documents right away. And it cost me like $1. Except that because I didn't spend more than because I didn't ask for more than $50 worth of stuff, it cost me nothing. Pacer is amazing, and Canada needs to get its act together.
Well, it's amazing.
I got a drink and then I forgot it in the other room.
Go grab it.
I'll be right back.
I'm pulling this case. I'm trying to pull the Starbucks case real quick, the one that got him sanctioned.
I remembered the dog treats, and then I forgot my drink.
Because that's the appropriate thing to do.
I know. I had my priorities straight. I'm just saying that, but I'll be right back.
Okay, let me see. New York. I'm looking for this lawsuit real quick because I want to have that on the ready, because that one I can find. That was federal. We're federal with the federal courts, because thank you for having that system as well as you have made it. I appreciate you for one thing, and that would be the fact that you allow me to find things. Sheehan. Not Sheeran. Not Edward Sheeran. I want Sheehan. Not Sheehan like the brand that they sell on Amazon, that whatever. I don't know what that brand is. I know that they sell clothes really cheap. But I wanted to find Sheehan. Where are you? Where are you? This dude has filed so many lawsuits that I am struggling to find the damn thing. This is ridiculous. It's federal court. How am I finding? Found it. I think I found it. Found it. Took me a second. Got it. I love this. Thank you. Thank you, Pacer. Thank you for Court Listener, because you guys make life easy for finding these things. Order to show cause, response, motion for leave to file amended, pleadings, response to order, motion for leave to file amicus, text order. We'll pull this up when we talk about that case. But one of the cases I want to talk about early is we've got some funny cases. Now that Ian is not here, because Ian wouldn't really get this one as much, we had, you step away from Friday Night Frenzy for 2 weeks and you forget how to multitask with all the different tabs. The tabs that I have open would intimidate all of you. I have like 19 of them open. And right now I'm trying to get back to the one that I needed, and it's taking me a minute. So, fun case number 1. And I'll wait till Ian gets back for fun case number 2. Fun case number 1. 1 is the loneliest number. Okay. We've got a fugitive turkey. So,
as one does.
We came back right in time. Right in time. There's a fugitive turkey that's being reported by the New York Post. Fugitive turkey, Turkules, evades local authorities.
I'm pretty sure that's Turkules.
Turkules. Oh, Turkules. Evades local. Thank you for that. Evades local authorities. Unites New Jersey town. Oh, he is a gangster. Probably in the very popular way. Zoom. Make and biggin. In a quaint New Jersey town, one Butterball United local One Butterball United locals after repeatedly slipping through the animal control's fingers. But the notorious West Orange, New Jersey turkey, lovingly named Turkules, was finally captured on Tuesday after a weeks-long goose chase. That seems inappropriate. Devastating fan club. The feathered fugitive. God, I love this. If you are a reporter and you get this story across your desk, you are just dying in laughing. Because now you have the opportunity to just write things like this. The feathered
Or you
fugitive,
just know that your career is over because they're giving you the turkey story and not like, hey, let's cover, like somebody else has a line on like, Biden just shot 3 people and you're covering Turkules.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. At least if you get the bad job, make fun with it. So the feathered fugitive united the town, becoming the one, quote, thing that, quote, everyone could agree on, said resident Gia Garcia. Instead of arguing about politics, everyone was unanimously invested in the well-being of Turkules. The misbehaved bird was championed by locals who posted sightings of the elusive bird on social media and threw him a hometown hero celebration to fundraise for the wildlife conservation charity. I'll miss him a lot, Garcia, the owner of Willow and Olivia Desert Cafe, told The Guardian. I'll miss the daily reports of his sightings. I'll look forward to getting updates about him every single day. And there is Turkules evading, look at this, evading legit law enforcement. That is a police cop. That's a cop.
Hashtag Team Turkules.
I agree. The 3-foot-tall gobbler became a local celebrity after successfully escaping the grasp of the animal authorities, enduring a tranquilizer dart hit straight on the breast, dangling almost amongst its plumes while on the run for weeks. Wait, the dude got hit. He got hit straight in the chest with a trank gun and continued on? Go Turkules.
Yeah, it's like Turkules gives no Fs.
He even survived being struck by a vehicle, emerging from the accident unscathed. Is Turkules is he now the Chuck Norris of turkeys? Turkules got into an accident with a vehicle. The vehicle is fine, or the vehicle can be recovered at some address.
I kind of feel like Chuck Norris might be the Turkules of humans.
He might be.
It's the other way around.
He's resilient, Garcia told The Guardian. To see a turkey actively show a type of protective nature for that patch of land, and then for him to walk around with a trank dart in him, I mean, that's badass. I don't disagree. Oh, they made posters when turkeys terrorize communities, trespassing on people's front lawns or impacting traffic. State officials step in. Why? Celebrate our hometown hero, Turkules. November 18th, they have the trank dart in his chest. Your support will help benefit the wildlife conservation charity. Turkules for president. I don't disagree with that. I don't do politics, but I don't disagree with that. Turkules was particularly hard to corral because he tended to fly more than normal wild turkeys. Okay. Some locals, however, are convinced that this isn't a goodbye, just a see you later. Turkules was allegedly relocated from West Orange earlier this year and eventually made his way back. Ruh-roh. According to the local West
I know
Orange,
a way to keep him from coming back.
Well, I don't know. If you fire at Turkules, that might deflect.
I'm willing to take the chance.
I was going to say you're probably going to want to test it. The town's mayor pardoned Turkules, who was not euthanized before he was relocated to an undisclosed location. He's in a black site. Turkules is in a black site being cross-examined and waterboarded. Rumor has it he's still a citizen of Garden State.
Waterboard Turkules.
Don't. They actually waterboard themselves. It's raining. They look up and they drown themselves. That's a rumor, I know, but it's very sad. He has given the community near and far a reason to come together to hear of his adventures and determination. One resident who was named only as Susan told The Guardian. But he's a gangster. He'll make his way back. He always does. Turkules. 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 Oh, God, that was a bad movie. Nutty Professor. So that was a little bit of light entertainment for the turkey. So shall we swoop to an actual story that's a little concerning?
Hashtag free Turkules.
Hashtag free Turkules. Turkules is Turkules is free. Turkules has been given a trank dot. Turkules is free.
Now the funny thing would be if he used the trank dart on one of the
Cops?
pursuing cops. It's just like the cop is sitting there wandering along and looks down. He's got like a dart stuck in his leg, and there's this turkey sitting there going like, "Yeah, I did that."
Well, the turkey starts walking away and then looks back over and then just kind of nods and then keeps on going.
Yeah, I did that. Yep, that was me.
Yep. You don't trank Turkules. Turkules tranks you. Oh, that was great. Okay, so let's go ahead, swoop it up. Let's go to the actual story. One of the actual stories. Here we go. Swoop. New swoop.
I feel like Turkules is going to be the best story of the evening.
I think that really kind of was. It kind of was pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and lead into this story. We're going to talk about T-Mobile. And let's see if I can't embiggen the screen. Embiggen screen. Embiggen. You taught me that word, and I will never recover since you did. So this is posted on Twitter on, I think, November 17th. So Carrie Goldberg is the attorney in this case. Breaking news. Today we sued T-Mobile for its pattern and practice of incentivizing trade-ins, knowing some of their pervs will steal customers' nudes and sex vids. The jig is up. Amazing lawyering by Laura Hecht, Villela, and co-counsel Amy Aubrey. So maybe this is just a court watcher, but this is someone who does that. So that's the lead in to the actual story.
Should we talk a little bit about how you can wipe your
phone before you turn it in?
Yeah.
Be careful with your data. T-Mobile is sued after an employee stole nude images from the customer's phone during a trade-in. We'll bypass the key points and go straight into the subject matter of the article.
Guys, what I would do is first, step one, take your phone, encrypt your phone.
Yep.
And after you've encrypted your phone, then wipe your phone, reinstall, re-encrypt, turn in. And it's just like, okay, there you go. Because you get more money if the phone is functional, right? But yeah, you don't want to give them anything that they can get any data off of.
Correct. But there are people that don't know this, which is important.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
people become educated in the fact that when you bring your phone into the store, yes, the person is an employee. And I think that's going to be some of the subject of the lawsuit, is that the customer brought it in and that person was wearing the regalia of T-Mobile. They were a representative of this trusted entity, this company that was the provider for their cell phone, that there was an expectation of privacy in having that corporate employee in that shirt, in that setting, accessing the phone to transfer information from one device to another. Now, I think that the cautious route is definitely what you said. Absolutely. But I can see how someone could come up with the lawsuit the way they did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's I'm surprised this kind of suit doesn't happen more often, to be honest.
Well, they apparently this isn't the first time. So T-Mobile is once again being accused of failing to protect sensitive consumer data after an employee at one of its retail stores stole nude images from a customer's phone when she came to trade in an old device. The incident is similar to at least 8 others levied against T-Mobile in the past, including according to court records and news reports. The lawsuit comes as wireless companies and other tech giants face increasing pressure from lawmakers to do more to protect consumer data. If you're one entity and you have 8 of these allegations, maybe you should consider how you're hiring your employees. The suit filed in Washington State Court.
The problem is that this is just so endemic that it's not even like a consider how you're hiring your employees, because it's just so much of a problem. I'm gonna say, like, if you take your computer to get repaired, and they've done things where they have like monitoring to see what's done, the number of times that they catch people checking out like decoy pictures is like 1 in 1.
You mean like this prior incident that was being reported on in May 19th of 2022? A
Yep.
creepy T-Mobile employee stole nude photos of a young Queens woman when she went to the store to trade in her phone last September. So there's a lawsuit from them. Karen Munn waited patiently as the employee of Northern Boulevard's store took her device to a closed back room to see if she was eligible for the trade-in. Never let them take your phone, ever. They can
Well, I
do
mean,
it.
she
do
was
right in
trying to
front of
trade
you.
it in, right? So, of course they're going to take her phone.
They can check if you're eligible for trade-in right in front of you, though. But when he emerged, her heart stopped after she caught a glimpse of the phone. I saw his photo app open. Oh, it's his phone with like a bunch of my photos on there. My God. I felt like a part of me was stolen. I wanted to scream. As well, you should have. But let's go back to the story that we're talking about now. Let's see. The suit filed in Washington State Court accuses T-Mobile of failing to properly train its retail workers and, quote, turning a blind eye when employees use their access to steal customer data under the guise they're helping them with repairs and data transfers. That's why that prior allegation, that's why that May of 2022, a full year before this, is significant here. T-Mobile is on notice that their employees on at least one other occasion has done something like this. And that then shifts the onus to you to actually go about trying to train them better or fire them more harshly.
I mean, you might already have an onus just because they're your employees and you know that they're going to be
handling sensitive data.
Yeah. I mean, I do criminal law, right? So some of the data that ends up in my possession can be incredibly sensitive. I will say bad pictures don't end up in my possession because, that's strictly controlled and I don't want that. But you can still have pictures of like crime victims. I've seen pictures of like guy who was beaten to hell by other guy, and he doesn't want that picture announced everywhere. Like he doesn't want that shown to everybody on the planet. The number of times I've seen pictures of my clients' junk recovered from their computers is way too freaking high. I've seen pictures of complainants. I've seen pictures of all sorts of people. And it's like, all right, everybody who I hire who might have access to any of that, like we go over, I'm like, you need to be aware. If any of this leaks, you are so fired. Like, there will be no question about that. And if it's really sensitive, I will tell people, like, I'll tell, I told my assistant at one point, I'm like, hey, this file is going into the locked cabinet because it was sensitive and it was a file that had made the news. And I was like, everything on this is going on the, I had a separate laptop, and the laptop was one where it, I'd gone in and like
a burner
literally
laptop. It has nothing in it.
It had no internet connectivity. So it was like and it was encrypted to hell, right? You could not get onto that. And it was just like, hey, just so you know, I'm storing everything about this file on the secure laptop. And so if you need to know anything, you need to talk to me because I am making sure you have no access. Air gapped, all of that, right? It's just like, this has no anything. And I've never had a problem with assistants because you train the hell out of them, right? They know that they can't do that because it's so critical that you pay attention to your clients, and just not just your clients. It might be somebody else too, right? So you just
Yep.
have to make sure that it's secure. So
Yep. And Steve A makes a point. There's a reason I keep multiple old cell phones. A lot of people do. How about not taking nude pics on a device the government can hack? Probably also a good idea. Thank you, Purple AJ. You just, the
I'm
risk
not a
right
big
now
fan
is
of the
so high.
I'm not a big fan of the blame the victim thing because people do take pictures.
They do.
And
But you don't have the expectation it's going to get
nobody
disseminated.
yeah nobody wants that like shared or whatever else. And if you're ever the recipient of a picture like that, treat it like it's sacred and do not break that trust. So yeah.
Yep. So for almost a decade, T-Mobile customers across the United States have regularly reported, evidenced by news stories and lawsuits, instances of retail store employees stealing their intimate videos, explicit photos, and bank accounts. Oof. Nevertheless, T-Mobile has failed to implement any common sense security hardware or software to protect consumers from their data and privacy being exploited during ordinary transactions at the T-Mobile store. Example, one of the policies could very well be the employee will not leave the floor with your phone. They will stay in your presence with your phone the entire time. That could be a very simple policy that they could institute and fire on the first offense. It seems like they didn't do that. So T-Mobile comes out with a statement. In a statement, a T-Mobile spokesperson said this was an employee of a third-party authorized retailer. Well, then you have to take a look at how you authorize your retailers. And he was terminated. While we're unable to comment on the specifics of this pending case, we want to underscore that we take customer protection, and the issues like this very seriously. We have policies and procedures in place to protect customer information and expect them to be followed. See, I would expect here for you to tell me what policy wasn't followed. But again, you're being sued, so I can understand why you might not. The victim, who's only referred to as Jane Doe in the complaint, properly so, states that she went to a T-Mobile store at the Columbia Center Mall about 200 miles southeast of Seattle last October to upgrade her iPhone XS Max to an iPhone 14 Pro Max. While there, she handed the old device off to an employee so he could transfer her data to the new device. While the worker had her phone, he found nude images of the victim and a video of her having sex with her partner on the camera roll of the XS Max and sent it to himself on Snapchat.
Yeah.
That is wow.
Here's the other thing I would say is no personal phones on the floor.
Yep. You put them in a damn lockbox. That's a wonderful idea. Maybe that's a good policy.
You don't have anything you can copy data to on the floor or you're done.
Yeah. Because you have no need. Give me some justification for you to have something in there that says, I'll talk with Mike, dirty texts. Yeah, dirty text, Mike. That's what we're talking about. You do have a link, by the way. Once the transaction was finished.
When I was a teenager, it would have to be like dirty typewriter messages. So it just didn't come up.
Ian, what did you send, Mike?
What? What is he saying?
I love the double take to the screen.
I'm like,
I have pictures of both Rob and Ian on my phone, just saying.
He has probably pictures of us, but not pictures.
Clothed, like in public, hanging out. Yeah, probably. Don't scare me like that, Mike.
Yeah,
those were sent in trust. Once the transaction was finished, Jane assumed her data was wiped from the old phone until later that evening when she checked her Snapchat and saw that the images had been sent to an unknown account, which police later traced back to the T-Mobile employee. That's the thing. This employee did it. There's got to be more instances of this because this employee did this in a way that very quickly enabled him to be caught.
Yeah. And the thing
It's-
is that you can sort of tell how many times somebody got away with something based on how careful they were. Because if they're super, super careful, it was probably their first time.
They get
Whereas
lazier
if
and
they
lazier
get,
and lazier.
that's exactly it. If they're sitting there and it's, super, super sloppy, it's probably because it's not their first time. So,
Yep. Once the so that blah blah blah. Anxious and concerned, Jane hastily returned to the T-Mobile store with her mother to speak to the store manager. The lawsuit states during this time, while Jane was seeking assistance at the T-Mobile store, the unauthorized person continued to log into her social media accounts on the iPhone XS Max. Oh my gosh!
yeah. Uninstall everything before you're turning in a phone as well. It should be just a bare bones phone.
At first, staff claimed there had been no trade-ins that day, but with help from mall security and local police, Jane's old phone was found in the back room. This is getting scarier and scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than helping Jane out in the face of the sexual privacy claim, the T-Mobile manager said that if Jane wanted access back to the old device that had been weaponized against her, Jane would need to pay them the amount that they had discounted her for the trade-in.
Ooh, no.
Oh. Jane's mother, on Jane's behalf, surrendered and paid the amount. Oh,
not only did we abuse you, but we're doing it for money. We're charging you a fee to sexually abuse you.
Are you
T-Mobile,
kidding me? I'm very curious as to how that conversation went. Hi, your employee has my phone and it's still active and my nude photographs are on it. I need the phone back at the very least to clear the data. I'm sorry, miss, but even though I've heard what you are saying, that your nude photos are on this phone that's being accessed by one of my employees, I must insist that you pay me the amount that we discounted your current phone because we're concerned you're going to take both phones and somehow profit off of it.
I can tell you what I'm doing with this if I'm a juror.
T-Mobile's getting annihilated.
I'm going to write a 1, and then I'm going to write zeros until my wrist gives out in agony.
Oh my gosh. The employee was later charged with first-degree computer trespass, a felony, and disclosing intimate images, which is a crime in most states. According to the lawsuit, he pleaded guilty last month, the suit says. What's interesting about this is, remember I said there was other instances of this occurring?
Mm-hmm.
How about this one? I don't particularly care for the person that produces it, but this one was October 26th. And this one was in Beaufort County, South Carolina, where a T-Mobile employee in South Carolina already facing criminal charges now faces a civil lawsuit that he shared nude photos on the dark web, including passcodes that he obtained, texting himself hundreds of compromising photos. So this one, South Carolina, so you got South Carolina in October, Queens, in 22, Queens in 2022.
I wish him a very merry incarceration with sharing a cell with a guy who's worried about his daughter.
But then you've got this one. Well, so you've got 3 of these lawsuits that track very, very similarly, and what's in common with them is the employee has way too much access and time and just ability to use the phone while in your direct employ to carry out a function that he is tasked with doing as your employee.
I know there's other places that have things like rules like you don't touch the phone unless you're on camera, etc. So yeah.
I mean this is if this was like the first time that this happened at a T-Mobile, right? Hypothetically speaking, then I'd be cutting T-Mobile a lot of slack.
I wouldn't.
Basically saying, well, yes, because they should have had, I would have been cutting them more slack than I am now.
That's
did
fair.
they have actual awareness? Did they have actual knowledge? Did they know this was a potential threat? What were the policies? How well were the policies? Was it just a matter of implementation of the policy on a store-wide or franchise-wide level? But when you see it happen multiple times, you're going, no, this is telling me that at this point your policies themselves are not doing what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
The lawsuit was filed by Carrie Goldberg and Laura Hecht Filella at the New York-based CA Goldberg law firm and Emma Aubrey from the Washington-based Redmond law firm.
Can you imagine jury selection for this? You're like, we need to exclude all jurors who have a daughter.
Well, and then where else you go? Have you ever taken a photograph of yourself in the nude and put it on a phone? Because you have to ask that. And then how many of the jurors are answering that?
If I'm the judge, I'm saying you don't get to ask that of random people. Sorry, I don't care if it's probative. You don't get to ask.
But
I'm disallowing the question if I'm the judge.
I get it. And I understand why you would disallow it, but can you also see how challenging it would be to get a fair and impartial jury without being able to ask something that would tell you whether they had been in a situation like this before?
I mean, the thing is in Canada, we've got very limited questioning of jurors. You have to ask permission for every question you want to ask. And almost all the questions are disallowed. You wouldn't be able to ask a question like that at all in Canada. But you can ask, like, you'll have to ask permission for questions like, would you be unable to judge this trial fairly given that the accused is a black man? But you're very limited in the questioning you can do of jurors in Canada. You don't get, like the OJ trial, they had like a 40-page questionnaire. You would not get that in Canada, even for the OJ trial. It'd be like, hey, does him being OJ Simpson prevent you from judging this fairly? What about him being black? Okay, you've said no to both. 2 questions, you're on the jury.
Yep. And then to answer this question, which is it's a decent the thing is, people are going to have images that they don't want shared publicly or they don't want being accessed. So there are third-party provider applications that are like photo vaults or text vaults or encrypted and encrypted communications where you can basically require a secondary password. So even if the phone is open, there's a secondary password to access that.
Even without the third party, if you go into settings, you can probably turn on phone encryption.
Yep.
And it'll be like, okay, your phone is going to be useless for the next like hour while it encrypts. Like, please have it connected to power while we do this. And you wait, and then it encrypts it. And a lot of phone operating systems now encrypt by default. So you just
iPhone is already default encrypted, I think.
Yeah. So encrypt, wipe, basically, just to be just overwrite everything.
So the quote from the attorney: T-Mobile has long known that its negligent hiring and absent consumer safety policies will result in at least some of its customers becoming sexually exploited. T-Mobile has big incentive programs to induce customers to upgrade their devices and turn in their old phones. But the ugly truth is that T-Mobile knows that employees sometimes steal customers' most intimate images and videos from their old devices they relinquish. She then adds, this case shows that nobody should feel their privacy is safe at T-Mobile. Well, that's an allegation. And honestly, this lawsuit seems.
I mean, if the lawsuit is,
it's got legs.
Yep. And I know randomizer noting the people stealing photos like this do not have the technical expertise to recover deleted files. I can say if you have encrypted and overwritten, then the list of people who have the technical expertise to recover this is probably like governments only. And if your threat profile is like you're at risk from a hostile government, you're doing pretty good. Because the government's got all sorts of things they give a crap about. Your nudes are not one of them, unless you happen to be Osama bin Laden, in which case they probably would care about your nudes. But mostly because they're looking at your nudes in order to determine if there's something in the background that tells them where they can launch a missile. So, yeah. The other thing is consider, like, if you've ever had a nude on your phone, yours or someone else's, consider what the trade-in offer is, because if it's like $15 or something, or $50, consider
keep the
whether
damn
that's
phone.
worth it.
It's not worth it.
Well,
Here's
I
another
mean,
one. Spring, Texas.
I do.
Woman's levying accusations. Another T-Mobile. Another T-Mobile location upgrade. The recorded confrontation. So results in an apology. So this one, her Apple Watch alerted her, showing the messages.
What is it? I have a tool in my garage that I use to clear like my old hard drives, my old phones, and so forth. It's called a bench grinder. And I just put them on that until the thing is disintegrated.
There's also fire.
Bench grinder is great. Like if it's particulates, particulates don't snitch.
Yeah, interesting. Jonathan, do your over under on a new owner of T-Mobile. I'm guessing like 5 minutes. This number of lawsuits that quickly, I would say.
People smell blood.
Problem. They do. No questionable images on phone. Check here for years. Yeah, this case was. Ooh, that's
further caveat just for the chat. If you're destroying a phone with either fire or a bench grinder or anything else, you have to take the phone apart first and remove the battery. The battery will make more fire than you want. So battery needs to go before you apply whatever solution. But then after that, you can have fun with it. I mean, take it to the range, pull, boom, data sanitize.
Shotgun will do it. Shotgun will do it. Especially if you're a good shot and you get it with the right munitions. Yeah. So that's T-Mobile. Or as one of my clients said, T-Maybe. It's not T-Mobile, it's T-Maybe.
I mean, if the allegations are made out, it's TF no.
Well, fuck not. Yep. That's pretty interesting. Let's catch up on some super chats because I missed some of them earlier. Let me go ahead and swoop to those. Backtracking a bit because I wanted to catch up before we get behind. Here for years, Rob doesn't arrive until Rob is ready. Kind of true. Gwyn Bly, thanks for the gifted memberships. Summer Butterfly.
Confirmed Rob is a wizard.
You. I am a wizard. Judy, you got this. I refuse to believe it's December. It can't be. Nope. No, it pretty much is. Mountain Princess. Coffee. Just started my awake overnight. Oh, best of luck to you. Steve A. A bottle of Legren for me here tonight. Want to thank you and Ian for the inspiration to take up leatherworking and start making.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Steve, send me some pictures of some of the stuff you've made. I know there's somebody on my Discord who started making leather goods, and damn, he good fast. I'm just like, I feel kind of bad just because the guy got so good so fast. I'm like, so his first pieces I was looking at them going like, hey, that's a good start. That edge is a little mismatched, but you'll get there. And then about like 5-6 pieces in, I'm just like, frag that's good. So, yeah.
Yep. Best of luck. Please post those publicly too. I'd love to see them as well. I'd love seeing that stuff. Just because gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Rachel Dueck. Just completed my 4th week of returning to work. Still short shifts, but it's going well. Congratulations, Rachel. That's an accomplishment, a massive accomplishment. Jessica B is a new member. Tiffany Bernier, my son, 13, inherited my late husband's woodworking equipment in a couple of months ago.
Ooh.
We are here in Fairfax. He wants to set up a shop and start learning to use everything. Any tips? It's called Email Me.
Also, safety gear.
And Tiffany, I know that you've emailed me in the past, and I know I remember your story from back during that occasion. I'm sorry for your loss, very sorry for your loss, and I remember that was something that hit home very hard. If your son's setting up a shop and he's local, I'm happy to give any guidance I can.
Oh, for sure. And I'm just going to say all the safety measures that you think are stupid, do them.
Every single one of them, especially with older tools.
I'm going to say, I thought it was dumb when I was using like push sticks to push a piece of wood through a thing, right up until one of my push sticks hit the,
blade.
Hit the blade. And I went, oh, that thing got just absolutely messed up. And that could have been my hand. So,
yep.
All of the things that you think are stupid, do them. I've had a piece of wood and a piece of metal bounce off like safety protection hard enough that I was just like, oh crap. Because when you're sitting there and you're working on a lathe with old chisels, and you feel the chisel buck, and you look and there's a big chunk taken out of the chisel.
Yep. Or it starts to bite, and
there's a big gouge in your safety glasses, like right below your eye, just so that you've got the right trajectory. It's like, all right, that big chunk of chisel just bounced off my safety glasses. It wouldn't have bounced off my eye.
I was making a pen. I was making a pen for my nephew, and he was down wearing safety glasses. And I told his mother he was wearing safety glasses because I was making a pen, and it was one of the resin and wood combinations. And I'm glad that I told his mother he was wearing safety glasses. I'm glad that I told her about this incident immediately after it occurred, because of course, children being children, they say, how was your time with Uncle Rob? We had a pen, it was going, and then it just exploded. you get the look, and you're like, safety. It was safety glasses were on. It's appropriate distance, because lathes turn at 30. My lathe turns at 3,200 RPM, which, when something explodes or when something hits, you hit a imperfection in the wood or the piece, it's spinning it that fast. It no longer exists. It's not there anymore.
I mean, I had a little wood blank, and it burst apart on me. And I was like, what the hell happened? Because I didn't think I like gouged into it too deeply or anything like that. So I looked at it, and this thing had like a little void in it. And it was just like a natural, the tree that this was cut from had like a little gap in it. And it totally destroyed the structural integrity of this particular little piece of wood. I did nothing wrong, and that could have killed me. Like, it's like, you just got to be aware of all of that, right? So, and what saves you is just that moment where you're sitting there wearing your chip mask, and you just like, poof, stuff hits the chip mask, and you're like, what happened?
Yep. So safety first. Fine Ape says, wouldn't that be a Utah mule if made with fentanyl? Well, that's a funny but not funny joke. D Novo says, here's a toast to the legacy of Sandra Day O'Connor, a life well lived and a namesake of a kick butt law school. That would be Arizona State University, the Sandra Day O'Connor School of Law.
Also, the proper Moscow mule has Novichok in it.
God. Yeah, my former law partner went to ASU and actually met Sandra Day O'Connor. So pretty cool to get it. Supreme Court justices all around. Unnamed Firestorm, vote for Ian to win another Gundy. Yep, the link to vote for Ian to win in the Gundy Awards is pinned to the top of the chat. If you haven't done so yet, please do so. You are allowed to vote once per day. So I would love to see him run away with both nominations and win both awards. That would be phenomenal. Phenomenal.
That would be funny as hell, because then I would be more prepared with an like this time. It's like I'm gonna have a proper acceptance speech, rather than getting up and winging it.
Yeah. Where'd you get the lights? Amazon. What's it called? The Govee light curtain is what's behind me. Utah M, love the channel. I'm starting a new job Monday. Congratulations on the new job. I hope you have a wonderful first week. Equality gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Ohio Palm Mom. Almost all my purchases were for the pets. Worthwhile investments. WW Black Friday ADHD Rob's bank account. Yeah, kind of did. ICU major sun flare hits this weekend. Oh my. I forget what that means. Canonical Heat, thank you for the gifted memberships. Very kind of you. And Don Burke, gifted memberships. Very kind of you both. All of you. J. Michael RN. Rob, so glad I catch you during this crazy night at work. I hope it's not that crazy. I hope you have a wonderful night at work, and I'm glad to see you here. Rachel Dueck, because my credit card's being stupid. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. J. Michael RN, thank you for the gifted memberships. 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, sir. Very kind of you. Beautiful Goddess, glad to be here. Love Rob's commentary. Thank you. True Crime Junkie, the OG. This place is so much fun. We try to be. Karen Richie has been a good month. Cheers on your 1 month of memberships. Chris and M96. I was looking for a bad Christmas ornaments today. Found a bedazzled roach ornament and thought of a recovery addict. Not a real bug, a painting with sparkles. God, so funny. Gwynny Bly, the witnesses, I can't, cracks me up every time during the roach. Yep. Carla Vieira, we have Zora coming in saying hi. Carla Vieira, I mentioned a Canadian geese yesterday, and someone corrected me to clarify it is a Canada goose. They are not citizens. 24 hours later, I'm still laughing. K-Rab, Casetify is one of EDB's sponsors.
As I open the bag, knowing what chat's answer is going to be.
Canonical Heat, do the YouTube things, hug the famous mods. Thank you to the mods for being here and for honestly putting up with the Maya coverage. And please hit the like button and consider subscribing. It does a great deal for the channel. I very much appreciate it. Don Burke, 5 memberships. Thank you kindly. Jolly Rogers, we need to remember to support Pixie, the crap goth. Pixie is getting a pen. I talked to her and I expressed my appreciation for the generosity that she showed during the live stream for Ian's charity and donating some very, very lovely items. Zora is getting a little bit of love. But yeah, Pixie, I told her that I was going to gladly give her a pen, but go check out her channel, The Crap Goth. Azam, glad to see you here, my friend. Niklas, the jury bots have an implied contract due to transfer of workforce, which nullifies the right to work statute in VA, Virginia, and returns it to the state of origin statutes. Niklas, come on, man. They're I know, I get it. I've started compensating them. I will not disclose how because you haven't yet been retained as counsel. I haven't seen the engagement letter, but they are being compensated. Tammy F. Hi, Robin Ian. You guys are the best. Thank you. The Chugi Show live. Is there a Pope Brackets bot? No, I've got bots from various. I don't have a full collection because honestly, Kristen N96, who makes them, has made, I have like 14 of these things, and she makes them for other people for donation. So maybe it's in the future. I don't know. Jermaine Down, if you want to be sure your data is safe, atomize the hard drive. If any remnants are left, even charred data could be recovered. Ooh, interesting. Traveling Science Man, happy birthday to my wonderful wife. Happy birthday to Mrs. Traveling Science Man. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Jessica, Ian, did you talk to the hospital about the mural?
I have. They're running it up the food chain, basically. So I'm hoping that they're going to come back and say, hey, we can do this. For the people who don't know what I'm talking about. So basically I am, so I raised a small ton of money for the local children's hospital. And so what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping that I can convince them to put up a mural for like a little Captain Corey pirate mural. And I'm hoping I can include a squirrel on it as well, just to be like, hey, you know, let's have a little memorial there. Because, yeah. So now I just want to also make clear, I told them like, hey, there are no strings attached to this. There are no threats. There are no contingencies. This is just purely like I will be doing this next year. Like this isn't like, hey, if you guys don't do this, I'm out or anything like that. It's purely this would be a nice thing. Like this would be cool if you would do this. Because I don't want to be the guy who's like, you know, a giant pain in their butt. So it's just purely like, hey,
If you can, it'd be great.
if you can, this would be kind of, you know, significant to me. It kind of connects back to like why I do this kind of thing. Cause you know, it's, it matters, right?
Yep.
And I gotta say, I've seen like, Christ, I'm losing count of how many people have like that sort of mattered to me who have died recently. So, you know, the hospitals being funded is a good thing because, like, none of them, you know, were like, you know, due to underfunding or anything like that. But still, you just, if people could stop dying, that would be great.
From your lips, my friend, from your lips. They're rough here. Hopefully
Yeah.
we can improve it going forward. And hopefully the hospital does do a little positivity. That would be lovely to see. Emily Ippolito says, don't forget to also force your friends who know nothing about the Gundies to go vote for Ian, even if it means voting against their friends. I concur with that. J. Michael RN, do you make any wooden ornaments? Right now, I have not yet. I have seen plans for how to make them. I'm sticking to pens, and I may have just made a very large order of hardware for pens to try and get them by Christmas. Melissa, thank you for the super chat. Kristen MI6, Nick Bot is in the works. Ooh, interesting. The world wonders. My best data security asset is being very boring. That's a good one. Gwynny Bly, total destruction equals wood chipper and melting pot. That'll do it. Joy WRN, I was the one that said they are Canada geese, not Canadians. We don't claim them. They're assholes. Well, Turkules said, nah, cops. We're not gonna do that. Canonical Heat says, by the way, twice as many people are present as those who have liked this, do the YouTubey things, and hug the tireless mods. Thank you, Canonical Heat. Please hit the like button, guys. It really mean a lot. It takes 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Just a little thumbs up. Just say hi. Hit the like button. It's like, hey, thank you. Like, it's pretty easy. Thank you, Canonical Heat. So that brings us to the conclusion of catching up a little bit. Let's go into, do we want remaining fun story, which has a little video clip, or do we want to go into the more substantive matters? I'm voting fun story. You?
I'm thinking fun story. I'm trying to get a hold of I know the other one is the lawsuit over the like fake, you know, the cameras thing, or
Yep.
the, I'm trying to get a hold of the documents on that one. If I get them, I'll send them your way too. But I'm hoping to be able to cover that properly on Monday because, yeah.
The DBrand and Casetify?
Yeah.
Well, then what we'll do is we'll preview that one. So we'll leave the remaining of that lawsuit saved for Monday. I like this idea. I'll preview it. We'll pull the article up, preview it, then we'll pull the lawsuit on Monday. I like this idea.
Sounds good.
Good idea? Good idea.
Yep.
Just caught this before I did a swoop. Robert McNamara. Rob, can you give my happy birthday shout out to my granddaughter, Maya? Happy birthday, Maya or Mia. I don't want to mispronounce that. Happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Cheers to the next year of your life. Make it exciting, make it fun, make it memorable. All right, let's swoop to a fun, happy story. Swoop. And I don't know if this one's a fun and happy story, but it is funny. So we're giving commentary on a newsworthy event. I preface that because YouTube is going to try and do a YouTube thing where it tries to be a pain in the butt.
A lot of weird stuff.
Can you hear the audio?
I can.
All right. So we've seen a lot of weird stuff.
Happened along Fifth Avenue South this past month. First, a bear was roaming the sidewalk. Then a couple nearly ran over an officer before crashing into a gate. And now, Memphis police had to deal with a Florida man sitting down during the chase.
Matt on Fifth Avenue tonight explaining how this latest one started.
Well, people are usually distracted by fancy cars and strategic on Fifth Ave, but this time a naked man stole the show.
I think it's nuts. I think it's crazy. This place is too classy for anything like that to happen.
People like Dennis Albasi tell me they can't believe something like this would happen on Fifth Avenue South in Naples.
I find it shocking, actually.
Yeah.
Must have been a sight.
Police say the naked man is 68-year-old Stephen Grant Campbell. He first threw a pair of tennis shoes and clothes into the Naples Bay. Officers saw this happen and told him to stop, but instead, he jogged to Bistro 821 and took a seat at an empty table.
I ate at the same restaurant tonight and...
Naked.
I mean, it's good strategy. The police have a report that there's somebody out there who's wearing like a yellow shirt and a black hat and black pants. They don't have a report about a naked dude. They're not going to be looking for the naked dude.
For the chat, for the record, I was not the crinkler. The crinkler was Ian.
Yes, I've got a sore throat.
Lozenges.
I was opening some halls.
I mean, it's Florida.
Sorry, it was
and
necessary.
You can tell it's Florida because they did the Florida man. But let's see.
And I would be freaked out to witness that.
Lisa Strempek was eating dinner at Bistro 821 tonight and says she couldn't imagine if she was here when this happened.
A male being nude in front of me is more uncomfortable.
Wait, did they just interview a random person who went to a restaurant? Pause.
I guess.
To get away from me.
Pause. Like, I didn't see anything. I was not there when it happened. I just happened to eat at a restaurant where this, like, come on, news media. Like, pretend to not suck. That's so dumb.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I'm now
here's
curious
this
as to how
far
they're gonna tie
interview.
that back in. Like, what? What?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Sure. Going on.
Campbell didn't stop at the restaurant. A witness says he exposed himself in the middle of traffic around 5th Avenue South and 11th Street South.
I would have laughed at him.
Campbell is being charged with disorderly conduct and resisting an officer. He's also being cited for littering.
We'll have to think about it in there for a while.
You're a fool. Enjoy your time in jail.
Littering.
For throwing the clothes.
I know. I get it. But so in Florida news, apparently that's what occurs.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Florida, I do have a crazy Florida story. I have a really fun Florida story I'm going to share next week in a members only. I think members only is probably going to be. We're not doing TOTC on Wednesday, so I might do that Wednesday.
Yeah,
But
it's going to take us a little bit to get this one together because
Nuremberg trials. Yeah.
Yeah, Nuremberg trials isn't something we're going to want to walk into half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what day I'll do members only next week, but I will do a members only next week. And I do have some really fun stories from my trip in Florida and a couple of like really big, cool stories that are important to me. So please, if you got gifted a membership, if you are a member, just please consider just joining that stream. It'll be great. Sports ball fans, Oregon versus Washington's getting good. Brentwood Chic, thank you. Oregon, Washington. Oh yeah, that is a good game. Ooh, is that Pac-12 Pac-12 championship? Might be, but it's sports ball. Let's see.
I've got opinions about sports ball.
I do too. You know what? We can do this. Hang on.
I think we've got very different opinions about sports ball.
Well, I enjoy it, but I never get emotionally invested in it because I've had my heart broken too many times getting emotionally invested in it.
I mean, the only reason to get emotionally invested in it is if you've got money riding on it.
Which I'd never advise as being wise in any fashion.
Oh, God, no. If you don't understand how to make a sports book, you should not have money in it. And if you don't know what I mean by a sports book, you should definitely not have money in it. But if you ever get the chance to talk to a bookie and get their like a detailed description of how they do stuff, yeah, it's worthwhile if you can.
So I'm seeing if we might have another guest joining us to talk about our last story, and we'll give them a minute or two. And while I'm doing that, I want to pull this up. So the food lawsuits are really interesting to me because the labels and the arguments over the labels has always fascinated the heck out of me. How people will file lawsuits that are just ridiculous. One of them is a strawberry Pop-Tart that didn't taste like strawberry, I guess, or didn't have strawberries in it. And we'll go to this one. So this is how we'll preview this story. So maybe swoop. Swoop. Swoop.
You do better swoops.
You did the swoop. You have good swoops. I like your swoops.
Oh, you have good swoops. Your swoop timing needed work.
I know. I'm sorry.
I say it because I love.
I know. So when we talk about these types of lawsuits, the food lawsuits, the ones that are kind of comical to read, but actually have real world implications for the companies themselves that manufacture the food.
It's funny because some of the ones that people bring up is like, this is a ridiculous lawsuit. I'm like, some of these are like really solid lawsuits in the sense of like the McDonald's hot coffee case or the hot, what do you call it? The hot chicken nugget case. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, those
you can
seem
see,
like
can you see the green room?
Yeah.
You can see the green room. Can you see who's waiting?
I can't. I'm pretending I don't.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep pretending it's not happening.
Ho ho ho!
We have a wild Swede. It's a wild Swede.
Hey yo!
You were not kidding, Niklas.
This particular version of Santa Claus leaves an opened can of Surströmming under your tree.
Oh no!
This is actually kind of funny that we have a stream where like 2 out of 3 of the people here have had Surströmming.
Yeah,
and have gray hair.
Rob, have you never had Surströmming? Have you?
No.
Why
Because
not?
I'm better than that.
It's a delicacy. Whatever the word is, it's good.
You know what, Ian? Damn you! You were so fast. I did it at the same time. No, I don't think. No, I don't think the person. I don't think what you're saying, and what I'm saying. Niklas, you're right. I've never had Surströmming. I have no interest in having Surströmming. Fermented fish in a can just doesn't sound like anything appealing to me, and I am terrified by everything about that.
At some point, we're going to be in the same space together, and I will bring a can of Surströmming.
And I will run in the opposite direction.
Good luck.
Yeah, I was going to say, the smell can outrun you.
Yeah, Ian has guns and I have farm equipment. Good luck. And
See, what Nicholas has not yet realized is that he is, in fact, for this stream, Saint Nick. He hasn't realized it because both Ian and I.
You changed
my.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Isn't that great? Hang on, let me do it. Let me do it a better way. I'm going to do it a better way. So we're going to make it so that people know who you are. Oh God, it was too fast.
I can make jokes about big sacks of presents, but I won't do that.
That's probably for the best.
Probably. Your background is remarkably festive right now, like very festive.
Yeah, it's December. Yesterday, December 1st, first month of Christmas. So I got myself a Christmas tree. I brought up the snowman and my 13th century helmet, got a Christmas hat, and I got lights and fake snow. Yeah, I did a members only stream where I just, hey, it's Christmas month, so tell me what to do. And they told me what to do, and here's the result. So yeah,
I like that. That's fun because I'm gonna do my festive thing too. My festive thing is the Christmas tree. Christmas tree.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
There's the stockings. Here's Santa. I don't need Santa because that's a pretty good likeness, Nicholas.
Hey, it's me on your wall. Are you happy with that?
I don't know.
Oh, and I found the absolute best Christmas beer ever. You don't have this in the USA. I don't know but Eriksberg's Christmas beer is a dark ale. It's a dark ale. I mean,
ooh, that looks good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I've been trying about 30 of them in the last couple of weeks. Which one this year? And this by far is the best one. And
I bought a beer advent calendar and I just realized it's December 1st.
Oh, I didn't buy a beer advent calendar. I am participating. A group of my friends do a beer advent calendar thing.
I didn't buy a beer advent calendar. Hold on, I will show you. Wait a minute.
I have to pick it up. Because I don't have it yet. So
by the way, I just saw the avatar. I just saw the damn avatar for Nicholas. It's a cat in a helmet, in a suit.
Is it a lawyer cat?
I bought a cheese advent calendar. And day one was, I opened it on my stream. It is, hold on, what does it say? Aged Red Leicester.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
One of these years, I want to just buy every kind of advent calendar I can. Maybe I'll see if the liquor store still has the like the Scotch advent calendars.
Scotch one. I've seen those too.
Oh,
they have red wine ones too.
I'm just like, maybe one year just for Christmas, the back wall will be like the Scotch advent calendar, the wine advent calendar, the meat advent calendar, and we'll just do the whole set.
That's, you know what, you create an advent charcuterie experience, and you have the wine, you have the scotch, you have the cheese, and you have the meats, and every night you come home and you open the day and you have your own your advent charcuterie.
There's a beer,
right there.
There's a scotch, there's like 3 different meats, 2 different cheeses. I'm thinking this is the way to go, and it would just be like Christmas or like December is the best month.
This is now the best idea. I think I need this in my life desperately.
Because
Jessica, yes, I know my door is open. It's so that Zora can come in.
Zora's coming in and out.
Yeah, for many years, due to events in my family, I really did not like Christmas. But then, about a decade ago, I changed my mind because, yes, my family's been through a lot, but there are so many families that needs it. So, when I got my old place, I got a question from a neighbor of mine because they had a child with what you call it, lesser with a injury, who are asked, please, can you be Santa for this year? And I said, well, sure, I can. And then that developed into me going around to different families with children and adults with similar injuries. And the absolute joy from these persons when I showed up as Santa, it's it's unbeaten. And I still do it on occasions because I have the appearance for it, maybe not, but the joy of it is, I'm not a religious person, but once you see that joy, you can't avoid the feeling of something else is going on.
It's important. Yeah. For me, it was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was always a difficult one because my dad was always sick. But after he passed, we took a year off where it kind of didn't do anything. But then I really did make the effort and to try and make Thanksgiving something that was thankful again. These holidays are really important, folks. The people that just don't celebrate them or don't participate, and there's a core meaning to a lot of them, and whether you acknowledge that or not, they're an opportunity for you to get your family around you and for you to change your own perspective on life. Like, you have the power, quite honestly, to redefine whether that holiday hurts you, makes you sad, or it's something you can celebrate again.
Yeah, I agree.
So on the topic of bad food, well, on food in general.
Now, I'm just going to say, you can't say that surströmming is bad food.
No.
Sure, it's rotting. But, all food rots eventually.
Yeah.
And that's not a reason not to eat it.
No, this is purposely rotting because of taste and smell and the experience and everything. Because back in the day, they didn't have much. So they put fish in the barrel and salt and everything. And this barrel just happened to ferment. And they didn't have
rotting
much
on
to eat.
purpose.
Yeah.
You're selling. This is supposed to be like a positive sales pitch.
Well, allow me to
if you have
convince
nothing, then something is better. Even
also
if
the
it
same
is
idea.
Fermenting. Yeah, same. Yeah, same idea.
No, I get it, but one is fish, and the other one is not fish. I understand the fermenting thing. One of them is fish.
Rob, we'll get a can of surströmming, and we'll open it in your car.
And then what? We're going to firebomb the car? There's no coming back from that.
Opening a can of surströmming in a car is no worse than
than putting a grenade in your car.
It gets everywhere. The little molecules are attached to everything. No.
Oh, when I was
found
in
my advent calendar.
Yeah, when I did my army duty, in order to... Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
Where's the first day? Huh? On the first day of December, I opened my advent calendar. Ooh.
Tomorrow I'm going to the liquor
So-
store to see if they've got more advent calendars.
Do you know how brilliant this is and how much of the child it brings out of you again? Like when you were a kid opening the advent calendar, but now it's adult advent calendars where I get to open and
Oh,
find
they
a
make those
beer.
too.
Yeah. I bought
Rob, if you want an adult advent calendar, I'm sure we could get somebody to send you.
No, bad Ian.
I'm sure Rob's PO box is filled with interesting Christmas trees.
So this is a beer. Oh my god, I can't read anything.
Yeah. By the way, unrelated, eBay has a sale on unicorn Christmas trees, and they have delivery.
And Rob has a PO box.
Who speaks German? Who can read German?
I can pretend to read German.
Hold on. Let's see here. Export Bell gefreut nach den
It says something about the Sudetenland.
Bayer Reinhardt ans.
I see lager.
Yeah, it's more or less description of the beer.
On the first day of December, Robert had a beer.
And people are saying I should have ordered a hot sauce advent calendar. They're right. And I hate that they're right.
A lot of people that are right about a lot of things right now.
You can put 24 of your hot sauces in a box and just...
I actually have enough hot sauces to do it.
You can... Hey, for next year, you can make a hot sauce calendar.
Oh, that's a lot of hot sauce to make.
Yeah, that is. I would... Or, I mean, if I was arranging things with hot sauces...
But
with
you
hot sauce
can
companies,
source it out to a company that does this. So they just have your name. Ian Ronco's hot sauce calendar.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah. Ta-da! A present from Santa.
I've got my tasty beverage. Ooh, it's a nice golden lager.
Oh.
Now it got a little jumbled when I picked the box up. I also enjoy the 16 ounce or the
Karen
bigger
says it's
cans.
hot sauce for charity. Hey, next December's charity.
Oh, this
Something.
is good.
Hot sauce grenade? Oh, I think Geneva Convention might have something to do with that.
That is
I have a hot
refreshing.
sauce grenade around here somewhere.
Actually, I do too. It's a hot sauce shaped as a grenade.
It's actually pretty
Damn
good.
good.
Also, I ended up getting a bottle. So one of my friends is, got a new guy, and he's a hot sauce fan as well. So she was like, "Can I?" And I should note, she is not a hot sauce person. She is kind of the opposite. She's been known to say that there are ketchups that are too spicy. So she was like, Can I try your hot sauce? And she goes to get a spoon, and I'm like, nope, we're not doing the spoon thing. Because that was
toothpick.
that was a bad idea. So we instead went and got a barbecue skewer and dipped it into the hot sauce. And then she tried it, and then she cried for about 15 minutes while I brought her milk. So, but she was like, "Can I have a bottle of this to take to my guy?" And so I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And he has given it good reviews. So I'm like, "Oh, that's a good thing," because you never know when you make this stuff if it's just people who are just like, "Yeah, this is fantastic," and they're just blowing smoke up your butt. So it's good to hear from somebody who has never met me who's like, "Yeah, this is good stuff." So,
Falter export light brewed according to Bavarian purity law from 1516. That's what it translates to.
Yeah. The Bavarian purity calls for the water being pure and it's the monastery beer kind of thing, but they have this law in action for 500 years in Bavaria, which is a part of Germany, and so you have
Although
to
both Bavaria and Germany dispute that, the part of Germany part.
Yeah, might be, but the laws regarding brewing beer has been around for over 500 years, and it is all about clean water in the beer brewing. So they were almost 400 years about cleanliness. They were 400 years before the medical society about washing your hands before you did anything. So that's kind of interesting that it was more clean to brew beer than performing surgery.
It's actually funny because the washing
actually
your
very
hands
clean.
thing was known in a lot of fermenting circles before they did it in surgery, because it's like, all right, this is going to ruin your product if you don't.
Well, so in the friend, so I have a friend that I brew beer with, or he brews the beer and I watch and drink beer while he brews the beer, which is a great way of doing it, by the way. But this friend, he's got two little hellions running around, and I love them. I call them my nieces. But watching how much time and effort he places into cleaning that.
Oh, the cleaning is one of the most important things.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
That's the
Nancy
thing.
Robbins.
It's
sorry. I need a last name for Rob to ship the Scotch Advent calendar. You don't have to ship me an Advent calendar. And I think someone posted my last name in the chat. I don't hide from that. My name is all over the place. So, but please, you don't have to ship me an Advent calendar of Scotch. I will enjoy any libation.
His last name is Lumber.
I had the same issue with my members. They asked me, how can I ship you gifts in for Christmas? And I said that, well, I did this stupid thing that I actually put out my name, my actual name. So it's not hard to find me. But I said I would prefer, because I have a few of charities that I try to endorse. So I said, please give to them before you give anything to me, because I'm doing good. I mean, I have a 46-acre farm, I have a day job, and I have my YouTube channel and everything. I'm doing good. You don't have to gift me anything. You being on my channel and talking and everything, I'm good. I have enough. So if you have money to spare, give it to something that means something to me or to you or whatever.
Well, it's the name thing is funny, and the way that we see a lot of it coming up, and maybe this is a bit of a tangent. So, thinking, is this a tangent? Yeah, my name is kind of all over the place.
I had, like, when I was starting my channel, I basically had to decide, am I going to put my name out? And I was like, the chances that eventually somebody figures out my name is about 1 in 1. And I say this, like, there's a bunch of members of LawTube who don't put their full names out. And for most of them, the amount of time it took me to find their names is about 0. And the reason why I do that is just so that I can look them up and be like, does this person have any disciplinary records that I, want to stay the hell away from? And I haven't found anybody who does, just, for record. But it's just like, you can't really hide that much, especially if you are like, I'm a lawyer. When Boozy went after Nate saying, oh, that's not his real name, it's like, do you really suck that bad at this?
His last name is not the lawyer? Wow.
Yeah, it was like, this is so easy to figure out. This is basic, research, like basic anything. So it was like, people are eventually going to find it. And then I have to, then it's this big secret that I got to worry about. Whereas if I just start out every video with, hi, my name is Ian Runkle, it's like, the really funny thing is that I still occasionally get people emailing me going, I know your real name and I'll release it. And I'm like, have you not watched my videos?
Yeah.
Like,
So, this topic, I'm sorry, I need to take like a minute to talk about something, because this has come up recently, and it came up kind of during the Maya coverage for me in particular, because review bombing is a thing. I don't hide who I am on the internet, because honestly, I think that when you hide it, people are more inclined to go search it out. But then again, I'm also very wary of, anything that I am putting out content wise. I want to be coming out of my mouth. I want to be the one saying it. I want to be the one tweeting it. I want to be the one posting it. And during the Maya coverage, you would see people start to, put words in my mouth, or you see these different things pop up, and they start cross-referencing different things that are linked to me. And I wanted to take that chance, because I know that there's a Discord that is a Discord that was fan started. The Law and Lumber Discord. It was fan started, and I have appreciated observing it and watching it. But it's never really been something that I've owned, and I've become increasingly nervous about that with the fact that I've transitioned to this new law firm. And I want to make sure that while I'm in this role of advocating for my clients, that a client doesn't stumble into something that's talking about me, but that it's not coming from my own mouth. It's not something I am actively saying. So I've been really cautious about that. So I'm trying to scale back and move things back into a very confined umbrella where I am the one. Look, if repercussions come back to me, it's because I'm saying it. The last thing I want is for a client of mine to be harmed because someone goes and finds something that's being said, not by me, but by someone else. Someone that's going to find something that's said that ends up coming back and hurts that client while I'm representing them. So, Rob Morton, I'm here. I'm a practicing lawyer. I need to make sure that Law and Lumber brand, or the Law and Lumber name, and anything that I say comes out of my mouth. So if you see that there's a couple of changes here and there, I hope and I trust that you appreciate that that's being done not for any, it's being done to basically CYA, but mostly it's to protect clients and their interests and my representation and my role as their advocate and me as an attorney. So hopefully that makes sense, because I know there's been questions circulating about a Discord. I love the communities, and I love the fact that people are talking about it. And I love that there's places where you can have ongoing discussions. I just need to make sure that they're not being put out there as my words. And I appreciate the hell out of everyone who administers those, manages those, and moderates the chats in those. They just can't be mine. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. But I'm sorry, rant over. It's not even a rant. I just wanted to make a clarification because I was nervous about that, especially with all the Maya stuff that had popped off. So
yeah, I mean, you got named in some lawsuits, and I mean, frivolously named, but named in some lawsuits. So yeah, you got to worry about that kind of crap.
Yep. So you know what? You want to talk about food?
Okay.
Since I now have a very delicious beer in front of me. Because the person we were talking about. Wait, wow, that's a weird image. Why did that screen pop up? I don't want that one. I want this one. There, that's better. So this is from October 30th of 2021. The strawberry Pop-Tart case is just one of more than 400 lawsuits he has filed. Now, this gentleman right here is Mr. Spencer Sheehan. He's an attorney. And in this case, this is being covered. This week, it was the strawberry Pop-Tarts with a lawsuit claiming damages over what it calls deceptive marketing by Kellogg's of its pastries that contain just as much apple and pear as strawberry. Before that, there were fudge lawsuits, which claimed that Keebler and Betty Crocker and others over, quote, fudge cookies and baking mixes that contained no milk fat. And of course, the 120 or so vanilla lawsuits, each alleging that consumers have been duped by companies marketing, quote, vanilla products that contain little to no actual vanilla bean.
No kidding.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure everybody thinks that when they're ordering vanilla, that they're getting vanilla extract, because vanilla bean is ridiculously expensive, and most vanilla flavoring, for the people who don't know, is made from wood.
Vanilla extract. Have you gone and bought that recently?
Oh God, it's like all the money. Like
every dollar.
Yeah. On my Yodi Ares coverage, we kind of bought the
Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks.
Those are great.
Yeah, but Yodi Ares, which me and Dave on Making Law Simple Network, so we do it every Tuesday and Saturday, and they do this to enhance pleasure.
Nope. Stop.
Nope. We're not doing that. Nope. There's enough adults who have lived through that experience. They can fill it in their head.
Yep, they can fill it in. I'm just saying, I bought a few packs of it.
And did you put them to their intended use?
No. You mean even a normal human being?
I'm not saying anything because I'm not saying anything. I just
How are the two gray-haired gentlemen on my screen the bigger children than I am?
Oh, because like my intellectual age froze when my hair turned gray. I'm like 16.
My humor is 12 years old when I still enjoyed cars and discovered, boobies. I'm done.
Oh God.
So
oh God.
But 4 years later, if you haven't grown up at 50, you don't have to.
Well, that's one of the things I always say. I'm going to grow old, but never going to grow up. Sorry, Ian. What were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, you were talking about vanilla extract. I'm pretty sure the last time I went to buy some, they just punched me in the junk, and then when I was doubled over, took my wallet. Like that's how expensive it is nowadays.
You know why it gets more expensive? These lawsuits. Back to the subject.
Oh God.
So the suits and scores of others were all filed by the same lawyer, a New York-based plaintiff's attorney named Spencer Sheehan. In recent years, Sheehan has filed more than 400 lawsuits targeting products in almost every aisle of the grocery store, all alleging that corporations are misleading consumers with claims on advertising and packaging that Sheehan says don't hold up to scrutiny. His prolificacy has almost single-handedly caused a historic spike in the number of class action lawsuits against food and beverage companies, up more than 1,000% since 2008, in an effort that has vexed food companies and won respect from consumer advocacy groups. Well, respect is one word for it, but here's the flip side of that coin. For every lawsuit that gets filed by the company, do you know where the company passes the expense on? The consumer.
The consumer.
Yeah, it's certainly not the shareholder.
Yeah. Oh no.
So more recently, that was in October of 2021. So what is Mr. Sheehan up to today? Mr. Sheehan today is not as happy as he looked in that previous photo. The lawyer in hundreds of food labeling lawsuits was hit with a contempt order November 30th, that being yesterday, in this particular litigation. A New York federal judge found that an attorney who has filed hundreds of class actions accusing companies of misleading labeling on food and other products in civil contempt of court on Thursday, saying he filed a lawsuit against Starbucks in bad faith. Senior U.S. District Judge Friedrich Scullin Jr. issued the order against attorney Spencer Sheehan after dismissing a proposed class action Sheehan filed against Starbucks over labeling on its French roast ground 100% Arabica coffee, saying the lawsuit was unsupported by studies, case law, or reasonable interpretations of the labeling. Well, that's a smack in the jaw. Sheehan, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of Christy Brownell in November of 2022, alleged that Starbucks was misrepresenting that the coffee contains no additives. Scullin noted that Sheehan had filed 18 lawsuits in his district since 2021, with none making it past the motion to dismiss stage. Well, Scullin said he would decide on Sheehan's specific sanctions later. Well, why don't we actually let's instead of just kind of talking about this, why don't we go to the rule to show cause that resulted? Let me see.
They're
Where's the rule to
asking
show
for a
cause?
Swoop.
Oh, we got a swoop. Ian, will you hit the swoop?
I can hit the swoop. Swoop, swoop, swoop. Swoop.
That's the
Okay.
best swoop on LawTube.
And what's fun about that was that I actually I made that. Like, that's why I love it so much, because I actually enjoyed making it. So what are we talking about? We are talking
I still think the doggo swoops are the best swoops.
Oh, they are good swoops too. So here's
I
the
do have my
memorandum decision.
Norwegian firefighting dragon, but yeah. Yes, I have a Norwegian firefighting dragon as my swoop. Just saying.
All right, so memorandum decision in order. Plaintiff Christy Brownell commenced this diversity jurisdiction action. Where's my mouse? On behalf of herself and all similar situated against defendant Starbucks, alleging that defendant's French roast ground 100% Arabica coffee, the product as sold in stores and online, is not actually 100% ground coffee because it contains added potassium at greater than expected levels. Really? Plaintiff asserts that the added potassium can cause health risks for coffee drinkers with kidney issues who are generally aware of the amount of potassium in coffee, and excess intake can cause hyperkalemia.
Did your clients have any health issues, or is this just an imaginary harm?
I don't know.
Because if I'm the jury, I'm awarding them imaginary money for their imaginary harms.
Plaintiff also alleges the defendant sells the product at a premium price that's higher than similar products, approximately $10.99 for a 12-ounce bag, excluding tax. Well, Starbucks does
gives
overcharge.
An F.
I know.
So earlier, because I still have the flu, I had a very spicy soup, and I wiped my nose on a tissue. This tissue can be yours for the low price of $1,000. Capitalism allows us to charge ridiculous prices for stupid things.
Yeah, you
profited off of that.
How much did your rock go for?
$450.
Yeah, and I have to take that to the post office because it's got to get mailed.
Yeah, I have a couple of things I need to mail out too. I've mailed most of them, but I have a few more remaining. But yeah, $450 was the rock. And Starbucks has been taking advantage of that situation for quite some time. But it's, again, if you're willing to pay for it, there's other coffee providers out there that provide coffee that is cheaper. Plaintiff contends that
the cheapest option is just own a coffee pot.
Plaintiff contends that she, quote, read and relied on the 100% Arabica coffee statement to believe the contents included only ground coffee and not any additives. And she, quote, paid more for the product than she would have had she known the representations were false and misleading, or she would not have purchased it at all. Plaintiff seeks to represent a New York class, including all persons in the state of New York who purchased the products during the statute of limitations for each cause of action alleged, and a consumer fraud multi-class state, which would include all persons in the states of Texas, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Alaska, Iowa, Virginia, South Carolina, and Utah who purchased the products during the statute of limitations for each cause of action alleged.
As a result of her reliance, she's been unable to participate in her hobbies, which include jumping in front of cars and slipping at the supermarket.
Jesus. When did you have that queued up? How many seconds ago?
About 30.
That was pretty good. You realize that what this is asking is the thing is with the class action lawsuits, one of the requirements is usually the defendant has to pay when the class gets certified. The defendant has to pay to notify the purported class. So notifications go out, and everyone with a notification says, "Have you bought Starbucks in the last year?" Right? And in buying that Starbucks, did you rely on the labeling that said 100% Arabica coffee? The prospective class is massive. If the settlement is 1 penny per class, this lawyer rakes in crap tons of money. But it's also bullshit. I mean, deceptive practices. I understand that companies will misrepresent what their products can do, and that sometimes that should be given cause for recourse. But
I feel like when lawyers file frivolous claims, some like it shouldn't be like, okay, you're held in contempt. It should maybe be like, you know what? The other lawyer gets to take a golf club to, you know, the dangly golf balls.
Oh my God. You said golf club and I knew where you were going. I just wondered how you were going to phrase it.
But here's the thing with coffee, because I am an avid coffee drinker. When they say 100% ground coffee from Arabica, they are using 100% of Arabica coffee. Then you have to, in order to store it, and
you have
then
to add something to it.
Yes. That has nothing to do with the final product.
The beans.
And the other thing I'm expecting is that they're like, when I read 100% Arabica beans, and I'm not a coffee drinker, I just like all of the beans that went into this are Arabica beans.
Yeah.
But I assume there's going to be other stuff in there, especially including water. Like, are they going to sue saying like there was a bunch of water in this, you know, in this coffee?
Yeah.
In which case, I hope the guy spends the rest of his life getting served a nice steaming hot cup of dry beans.
Yeah, because for you who doesn't know, my first career was in food tech, and as a food tech, I present in labels what, as a government official, I tell the companies what should be on the labels, and 100% Arabica beans means 100% Arabica beans. It has nothing to do with is in the actual final product, which has to do with storage and everything else. And nothing what they say here is illegal, or this is surprising. This is standard practice, because you have to have the product last a year and a half, 18 months, whatever the government says is. This is the longest governmental approval of how long you can store it. And to extend that, you have to add on certain things, as in this case, potassium, which only extends the shelf life. It's nothing.
But so now we get to the actual meat of this rule and the order. So the judge dismisses the complaint. And then when you see a judge write this header, as a lawyer, you're terrified. Rule 11 sanctions. A court may sanction counsel for signing pleadings whose legal theories are not warranted by existing law or by a non-frivolous argument for the extending, modifying, or reversing existing law or for establishing new law. Okay. To constitute a frivolous legal position for purposes of Rule 11 sanction, it must be clear under existing precedents that there is no chance of success and no reasonable argument to extend the law as it stands. The inquiry is one of objective unreasonableness and is not based on the subjective beliefs of the person making the statement.
Well,
with
the
that
first thing
one passage,
the first thing that should terrify you is the fact that it's more than a paragraph, because a lot of decisions have like, sanctions have been requested in this case. I decline to issue sanctions, and that's it. Like the one line. That's like the most common sort of way they deal with this. The instant you start seeing that they're thinking about it real hard, that's when you're like, oh crap.
Yep. But this one line tells you that the judge is about to be very displeased with what you said. The fact the judge quoted this particular passage, the inquiry is not one of objective reasonableness, and is not based on the subjective beliefs of the person, in this case, the lawyer, making the statement. In considering defendant's motion to dismiss and preparing this memorandum decision, the court learned that plaintiff's counsel, Spencer Sheehan, has filed no fewer than 18 actions in this district alone since 2021, all of which are class action lawsuits, and of those that have been considered in a dispositive motion, none have proceeded past the motion to dismiss phase of litigation. So he's got, yep. For many other cases, plaintiff's counsel appears to swiftly seek voluntary dismissals before the defendant files an answer or on dispositive motion. That is more significant than the first sentence. That says that you are filing this for media attention and not because you ever think the case is going to decision on the merits. If you're filing it against a big company and saying misleading, and then you dismiss it before they have the chance to answer or seek dismissal, that can be viewed as for not a legitimate purpose. The court also discovered that a court in the Southern District of New York recently admonished Mr. Sheehan for filing dozens of cases similar to this one in the past several years throughout the Second Circuit, with numerous courts dismissing near identical challenges. In addition, courts in the Southern District of New York have also twice threatened Mr. Sheehan with Rule 11 sanctions for filing, quote, plainly frivolous claims. Well, never want to hear that next to your name.
When you got 2 F around messages, and eventually the court is going to be like, oh, look, the roulette wheel has landed on find out. So, yeah.
The court therefore believes that Mr. Sheehan is aware that he files class action lawsuits primarily pertaining to alleged false labeling on consumer products, including causes of action for violations of GBL 349, 350, breach of express warranties, yada, yada, that plainly do not meet the pleading requirements for such claims on their faces. Nonetheless, he continues to file the frivolous actions in violation of Rule 11b2 of the Rules of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Accordingly, given Mr. Sheehan's history and experience in similar actions, which courts have dismissed for failure to state a claim, as this court does here, this court orders that Mr. Sheehan must show cause as to why the court should not sanction him for continually filing frivolous lawsuits against the district. You know what's missing from this? Anything suggesting that the defendant asked for this. This judge is like, nah, I'm going to grant the motion to dismiss, but I also see in researching this that you did a lot of things.
I don't even know if it's research. I suspect that this might have been something like the judge goes back and is like, because judges talk to each other, right? And the judge is sitting there, he's having coffee, and he's like, you know what bullshit landed on my desk today? And somebody's like, oh, what? This is because, judges talk about like which lawyer does a dumb thing or who's got a stupid case. And they're like, yeah, this idiot is suing, and it's over like coffee, and it is the most idiotic lawsuit. He's saying that there was too much potassium in coffee. He's suing over this. And they're like, and some other judge is going to go, was that so-and-so? And he's going to be like, it is. And they're going to be like, I warned him twice that we'd hit him with sanctions. And the first judge goes, huh. Well, I guess we're on baseball rules. Somebody's about to get struck out. So
I see a kitty, I see a pondered, and I also see a great question. What's the kitty's name?
This is Mr. Jingles. And he's a farm cat, and I am his human food dispenser. And yeah, this is a cat who catches mice and rodents and stuff like that. And I recently discovered in the barn that normally he catches small, interesting things, but he kind of piled up, and for you in the chat that he thought that let's stack up for winter. So I found a stack of rabbits in my barn.
Oh my gosh. He's
So
eating
this is-
full ass rabbits?
Oh, cats are vicious hunters.
Full-size rabbits. A
And
stack.
he's probably not
of-
just eating the ass. He's probably eating the whole thing.
Yeah. And look how happy he is. And
Really? Niklaus,
yeah.
he doesn't look. Oh, now he looks happy. Now he looks hungry.
And he usually just go up on the back end of my siege, and he sits there during my streams and warms my neck and stuff like that. And as you can see by his tail, he's extremely happy right now. So I will not be getting any sleep tonight because for him, I'm just not dead yet.
Oh God. Well, so Steve A brings up a really good question here, going back to the lawsuit. The sua sponte sanctions, how rare is that? Damn near unheard of, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
When a judge basically says, on my own prerogative, I am going to bring your ass in court and sanction you without request from counsel. I've seen it in Fairfax once, and the actual order circulated the bar because it was that bad. Like the actions were that bad that they actually deserved it. It's not the most common thing. So he hires an attorney, smart, and that attorney files something on his behalf. Dear Honorable Sir, as the court is aware, we represent Spencer Sheehan in connection with this court's order to show cause regarding Rule 11 sanctions. Please allow the following to serve as Mr. Sheehan's supplemental submission in response to the court's order of July 12th, 2023. Does a recap on standard review and due process and notice. In the sua sponte order to show cause, this court cites Rule 11 exclusively as the source of authority under which it's considering sanctions against Mr. Sheehan. Pursuant to Rule 11b, an attorney warrants to the court when he signs a pleading that he claims that the claims and other legal contentions contained therein are warranted by existing law or a non-frivolous argument. We've heard that before. The relevant inquiry is whether the pleading or paper was, quote, reasonable under the circumstances, end of quote. And liability for Rule 11 violations requires a showing of objective reasonableness on the part of the attorney signing the papers. However, the Second Circuit has recognized that in cases where a district court, sua sponte, of its own initiative, initiates a Rule 11 sanctions long after the sanctioned lawyer had the opportunity to correct or withdraw the submission, the lawyer may be sanctioned only upon a finding of subjective bad faith. I'll give you a hint as to what the judge finds. Even should the court determine the appropriate standard in this case is objective reasonableness, the relevant inquiry should focus on if at the time the complaint is signed, it's not well grounded in fact and warranted by either existing law or good faith argument. For extension of the law. So he goes on and says, this was my good faith basis for filing the complaint. But, you know, the judge does a pretty good job of recapping this in his order that was entered yesterday. Memorandum decision and order. Background. We've heard that one before. The Arabica coffee means no additives, including potassium. Court issued memorandum decision granting a motion to dismiss. Court found that plaintiff's allegations failed to show that the product in fact contained added potassium. Well, see, that's a problem. Like if you fail to allege that and any demonstrable evidence that actually has the thing you're complaining it has more of, it's a problem. Additionally, the court found that plaintiff's vague references in her complaint to, quote, recent reports based on laboratory analysis, which did not identify the reports or results of that analysis, which were too bare a conclusion to state a claim for relief. Yes, Judge, the lab is the lab that I bought for my children to test things that is rated for a sixth grader to do science in the backyard. Alternatively, even if a plaintiff had plausibly alleged there was heightened potassium, the court found the plaintiff didn't show that a reasonable person would believe it. After coming to this conclusion, the court then initiated sanctioned proceedings sua sponte, in which it issued a show cause order as to why it should not sanction plaintiff's counsel for filing a frivolous lawsuit in this district. The court noted that in considering defendant's motion to dismiss and preparing its memorandum, the court learned that Sheehan had filed no fewer than 18 actions in Northern District, New York since 2021, all of which proposed class actions. None made it past motion to dismiss. The court pointed out that in many cases, Mr. Sheehan appears to swiftly seek voluntary dismissals before the defendant even files an answer. The court further referenced recent cases from Southern District, New York, in which at least one judge admonished Mr. Sheehan for filing dozens of cases similar to the one in Brownell in the past several years throughout the Second Circuit, with numerous courts dismissing near identical challenges. Based on all this information, the court concluded that Mr. Sheehan was aware that he filed the class action lawsuits primarily pertaining to alleged false labeling on consumer products, that plainly did not meet the pleading requirement for such claims on their faces. So what the judge has said here is the judge said, you have actual subjective knowledge and intent, not objective, subjective. Going further. Nonetheless, Mr. Sheehan continued to file these frivolous actions in violation of Rule 11b-2. On July 23, Mr. Sheehan submitted a 5-page letter brief responding to the court's order to show cause. Court scheduled a hearing on August 22nd at 10:30 and ordered Mr. Sheehan to appear. Following the court's entry of the text notice of hearing, Mr. Sheehan retained counsel, which was smart. Upon their request, the court permitted the counsel to file a 5-page supplemental submission, which they submitted on August 14th. At the hearing on the order to show cause, Sheehan's counsel argued that it was not Mr. Sheehan's intent to bring a frivolous lawsuit and that he sent the product for testing at an independent laboratory before filing the complaint. Well, that's kind of curious to me. What lab? Regarding the former, Sheehan's counsel pointed to several cases to support Mr. Sheehan's claim that he had a good faith basis for bringing the lawsuit, but the court noted that those cases were irrelevant and distinguishable. With respect to the laboratory testing, the court pointed out that there was no evidence whatsoever in the record that Mr. Sheehan conducted an independent investigation in the product. You said the words, but you didn't attach the receipts.
Yeah.
Since the hearing, the court received
and
the motion
I mean, the
for leave.
receipts could have just been a freaking affidavit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just file a bloody affidavit to say you did the thing.
Just something. Don't just put I did it. If I am telling a judge I submitted something to a lab, how easy is it for me to attach a copy of the retainer agreement, the receipt, something that shows lab on it?
I'm doing an affidavit for myself saying I retained them. Here's the receipts. Here's the agreement. Here's this. And here's the report. I'm also getting an affidavit from the lab saying, yes, he retained us. Here's the receipts. Here's the report. Yeah.
Since the hearing, the court has received a motion for leave to file an amicus brief from counsel for Ashley Furnitures, which the court granted, and to which Sheehan's counsel subsequently responded. I wonder, here we go. In that amicus brief, the assistant general counsel for Ashley Furniture described an apparently frivolous lawsuit Mr. Sheehan filed against it in Northern District of Florida, to which it threatened to move for sanctions. And Mr. Sheehan responded in an email provided to this court stating the following. Oh, so go file your Rule 11 motion. I hear such sanctions threats from people like you all day long.
Whoa.
Just. Oh, that.
Wow.
Oh, no. Oh. Ashley Furniture sitting there going, oh, no, we want a piece of this. This is great. Additionally, the court has received Mr. Sheehan's declaration regarding his independent testing of the product. Oh, so he did file a declaration. Testing the product in his attempt to verify plaintiff's allegation before filing the complaint, which Sheehan's counsel filed on his behalf, and to which they attached a certificate of analysis from Kruger Food Laboratories. Okay. Indicating the sampled bag of the product contained a pH value of 6.4. Isn't that damn near Isn't 7 completely neutral?
Yeah, 7 is completely neutral. Below that is a base, and above that is an acid. But most food products are, depending on what you aim for, is either or, because you don't want to produce a product with neutral. So it has no bearing on anything unless you describe it as otherwise.
The court must now consider all the information before it determines whether it is appropriate to hold Mr. Sheehan in civil contempt of court and thus subject to sanctions pursuant to Rule 11.
Yeah, the
Legal
other way
standard.
one, base is above and acid is below. Sorry. I was corrected in chat.
You're fine. So we know the legal standard. It's really actually not the important part here. Whether Mr. Sheehan is in contempt. When applying the standard, Mr. Sheehan argues that the court has not provided the requisite high degree of specificity in its factual findings to support finding him in contempt or sanctioning him. The court disagrees. In its 20-page memorandum decision and order granting defendant's motion to dismiss, the court summarized the allegations in plaintiff's complaint, identified the relevant rules, and applied those rules to the facts with respect to each cause of action, and ultimately decided to dismiss each cause of action. The court found Mr. Sheehan had filed a frivolous complaint in this action when he made meritless claims in plaintiff's complaint based on unreasonable interpretation of a food label and without providing any support for plaintiff's action. More precisely, the court found that plaintiff's generalized allegations did not plausibly assert that the product, in fact, contained added potassium. For example, the court pointed out the plaintiff failed to allege that she suffered any kind of... Ian, here's your point. Plaintiff failed to allege that she suffered any kind of reaction as a result of the heightened levels of potassium, or even that she was at a higher risk to suffer such issues.
Yeah, she's just like a, she's just like a warm body that is there.
This filing a complaint, you have to allege damages. You can't just say I was harmed.
Oh, God. I mean, you can say you were harmed. You got to say how you were harmed and why you were harmed. And usually this is easy. Like, I was run over by a truck and my leg is over there. That's kind of easy, right? Or, my boss didn't have proper safety railings at work. And so, literally my arm stopped here.
I broke an arm. I did something. Something occurred.
Yeah, here's a hospital record. Or even just, this happened and I got sad. Right? I got sad. She doesn't even say I got sad. It's just yeah.
The court also noted that plaintiff did not cite to or attach any reports to support her assertion that the product had significantly greater than expected levels of potassium, even though plaintiff vaguely alleged that, quote, recent reports based on laboratory analysis indicates product has significantly higher, greater than levels of expected levels of potassium. And, oh my God, really? According to those knowledgeable about coffee products, this level is likely intentional because of potassium's recognized use for this purpose.
Yeah. That's how you ground coffee. You add things to make it easier to produce coffee later on in your product.
Niklas, your citation in this case, if you're filing a complaint, are you literally saying this according to those knowledgeable about coffee products?
You don't want to be saying this is the ordinary standard of practice. You want to be saying this is known within the industry to be something you don't do unless you want to kill your customers or something. This is so stupid.
The only report before the court at the time was a study that plaintiff improperly attached to her memorandum of law in response to defendant's motion to dismiss and attempt to incorporate it by reference into her complaint. Oh, she forgot to attach it. In a footnote, the court explained that plaintiff could not incorporate by reference that study when it had not identified in any way in her complaint. You don't get to add it later. The court noted, however, that even if it could consider the study plaintiff provided, such study appeared to be an advertisement for Pure Roast Coffee Company, which is a competitor in the coffee market rather than a scientific study. Oh my God.
Oh no! Oh
You
no!
cited the competitor's op research or op marketing.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
And then
I'ma
here's
just-
the thing. In response to the court's order to show cause, this is the problem. Sheehan's counsel claimed that this, quote, study constituted an independent laboratory analysis. It was a fucking competitor.
Oh, this is amazing.
Look at this. The court finds that the study appeared to be an article clearly produced by Pure Roast Coffee. Title of the article: "What is good coffee?" Question mark. It's certainly not Starbucks dark French roast laced with potassium. It's published by a competitor. Are you? What is happening? Oh, and then this is bad. Pure Roast discovered that Starbucks French roast had pH of 5.74. All roasted coffee has a pH in range of 4.9 to 5.2. What? Why is... Oh, the judge hits him with a footnote. Footnote 3. Notably, this sentence makes clear that the pH range of coffee and any naturally occurring potassium in the product depends on the type of coffee bean, whether it's Robusta or Arabica. This therefore puts into question plaintiff's assertion, which Mr. Sheehan maintains to this day. Oh no. Pure Roast Coffee then allegedly provided 3 of its own coffee samples and 2 Starbucks coffee samples to the University of North Carolina A&T Food and Science Department, which confirmed that the pH reading for Starbucks of 5.74 parallel to Pure Roast French products with 5.8. Based on the finding, the article boldly assumes that Starbucks adds potassium to coffee and doesn't tell anyone. They didn't prove it.
They didn't even test. Oh my God. They just assumed the pH is off, so it must be potassium.
Oh God, no.
The article calls out Starbucks as a, quote, big company that's basically cheating, throwing chemicals into their coffee so that it will imitate the same smooth taste and low acid that we Pure Roast make naturally. Well, I think that Starbucks might consider, whether that is possibly defamatory if that's not in fact true.
This has been the adding stuff to make it more tasteful has been the standards for, I would assume, over 200 years.
I mean, even before that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if you go to like ancient Rome, there's somebody who's like, hey, you know what? If I add a little bit of this to my beer, it's going to taste better.
But I think if you go back, I think it's the UK court, and we are talking about 16th, 17th century when coffee was brought into Europe. There is where you find the origins of this. So we are talking about, 400 or 500 years back. And it's well known within the industry. Here is how you grind it, and here's how you store it, and here is how you make it taste good later. We are talking 400 or 500 years at least.
Oh God! If Mr. Sheehan relied on any other independent, quote, studies or lab analyses that he failed to attach to plaintiff's complaint or her memorandum of law in response to the defendant's motion to dismiss, he had the opportunity to correct this error and point to such testing in response to the court's order to show cause. Instead, oh no, at the show cause hearing, Sheehan's counsel admitted that neither Mr. Sheehan nor his counsel included the report in their responses, yet they boldly informed, oh God, if a judge says this to you, run. Just be ready with your toothbrush. Yet they boldly informed the court that Mr. Sheehan sent the product for testing at an independent laboratory. When the court asked Sheehan's counsel whether anything in the record reflected the independent laboratory report, Mr. Sheehan allegedly obtained. Sheehan's counsel stated that he could provide it to the court as a supplement. Oh no. Subsequently, Sheehan's counsel supplemented their response to include Mr. Sheehan's declaration in opposition to the court's show cause and the Kruger report. In the declaration, he attested that on November 1st of 2022, the New York Post published an article entitled Starbucks Secret. If you are filing freaking class action lawsuit on an allegation that there's actually something in there, you don't cite to articles. You actually have the report. Starbucks Secret, dark French roast is not 100% coffee, says the complaint, in which the newspaper, quote, reported about a complaint filed with the North Carolina Department of Justice Consumer Protection Division claiming
Oh my God, was it his own complaint?
I don't know.
Was it his own complaint?
If it was, I will die laughing forever and ever and ever.
Never cite your own.
If you, I have not read this yet, Ian. If you are right, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I'm going to do a little dance.
I will.
This is not legal advice or lawyer advice, but never cite yourself.
Nope. We don't know that he did that yet. We don't know that he did it yet. I hope he
There are
didn't.
some
But
very rare circumstances where citing yourself makes sense. This is not one of them.
No. So that complaint in North Carolina claimed that the product significantly exceeded expected potassium levels compared with other similar coffee beans sold at retail locations. According to Mr. Sheehan, Pure Roast filed a complaint. Pure Roast, oh my God. The competitor filed a complaint.
Okay, so not quite as bad, but still pretty bad.
This is the second worst thing. This is the second worst thing you could have done. Oh no. Did you say that wait, this is getting worse. According to Sheehan, Pure Roast filed a complaint after obtaining, quote, independent laboratory tests conducted in August of 2022 by Salam Ibrahim, the head of food science department at NCANT, which had revealed potassium levels in Starbucks dark French roast to be more than 14 standard deviation points above the national brands tested, suggesting artificial additional potassium during the processing. See, that's possibly independent. Mr. Sheehan believed that Dr. Ibrahim used accepted scientific peer-reviewed methodology and relied on sophisticated analytical equipment, and he reviewed Dr. Ibrahim's employee page to find out he was a widely published research professional at NCANT. Okay. He declares that Business Insider also published information about Pure Roast's complaint, including that its studies showed that Starbucks French roast coffee contained 70% less acid than regular coffee, which prompted Dr. Ibrahim to conduct independent testing that revealed the coffee contained 6,800 parts per million of potassium compared to just 6,000 parts per million in other tested coffees. He further asserts that following his review of the above stated publicly available information regarding Pure Roast studies, he investigated the complaint to determine if it was a credible source. When the judge puts that in quotes, you might.
Oh.
Mr. Sheehan relied on a 2006 study from the University of California, Davis, and its researchers' testing of Pure Roast coffee to conclude that Pure Roast studies had some level of legitimacy, and the allegations made within its complaint against industry giant Starbucks were not raised lightly. Okay. Mr. Sheehan also attests that he researched defendant's disclosure obligations, in which he reviewed the Food and Drug Administration's regulations to determine whether the defendant was exempt from labeling requirements, such as if the potassium constituted a processing aid that would not significantly increase the amount of the constituents naturally found in the food. Okay. He contends that, in his view, there was a close factual question whether the increased potassium levels were significant enough to require disclosure under those regulations. Based on his research, he also believed the defendant could raise a preemption defense, so he reviewed applicable New York law, and he concluded that he could adequately respond to any preemption defense. Next, he asserts he reviewed case law from the Second Circuit and district courts within it, as well as persuasive authority from other jurisdictions, supporting the legal theories set forth in the complaint. So the court disagreed. They weren't in bad faith, and they were based on established law. In total, Sheehan has tested he devoted between 30 and 40 hours to above factual and legal research. It's a lot of time for a lawyer. Into the allegations of Starbucks adding potassium into French roast coffee to lower acidity levels at a value to his client of $15,000 to $20,000. Finally, he affirms that after defense counsel accepted service of plaintiff's complaint, he engaged his own independent analysis. That probably should have started beforehand. Unable to obtain analysis as sophisticated as that conducted by Pure Roast, Dr. Ibrahim made other efforts to verify the claims at issue by requesting a pH analysis of 8 different French dark roast coffees from expert food laboratory. Those 8 samples, blah, 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 significantly higher. Notwithstanding the differences, he attests the product was the highest, most alkaline, and least acidic coffee he had tested, which corroborated Pure Roast allegations. Therefore, he believed he was of good faith based to commence and maintain the action. All right. As noted above, neither the Kruger report nor any of the articles or studies Mr. Sheehan pointed to in his declaration were attached to plaintiff's complaint or her response in opposition to defendant's motion, nor did Sheehan provide them to the court in his initial response to the court order to show cause. Oh, God. Even if the court had such information available to it at the time it considered it, the court ruled that plaintiff had not shown that a reasonable person would believe that 100% Arabica coffee meant the product contained ground coffee beans without any vitamins or minerals, including added potassium. All right, let's go down here. Dismissal. In its discussion regarding sanctions, the court pointed to Mr. Sheehan's failures in this action and in others before courts in the district and within the Second Circuit to find that Mr. Sheehan is aware that he files class action lawsuits primarily pertaining to allegedly false labeling on consumer products, including causes of actions, blah, blah, blah. This is what we said. Nonetheless, the court asserted Mr. Sheehan continues to file these frivolous actions in violation of Rule 11b2. We've said that. Thus, based on Mr. Sheehan's history and experience in similar cases, which courts have dismissed for failure to state a claim, the court ordered that he show cause why he shouldn't be sanctioned. In responding, Mr. Sheehan pointed to the case law that said he allegedly relied on to support the plaintiff's filing, in which he argued showed that his conduct was done in good faith, not frivolous. Okay, we get the argument. There's the argument. He points to the different cases and says, I'm safe, I'm safe. By holding out their products as containing alleged vanilla, defendant's representation is equivalent to stating the beverages are made with natural vanilla.
No.
No.
Oh, no.
That's
What?
one of the cases that he had that got dismissed. Okay. The court finds that this case is relevant for the same reason as the other case tries to claim. This is not a case where the labeling promised inclusion of one ingredient, but an ingredient was de minimis in quantity.
Man, this guy's going to next sue Monster Energy drink for not containing actual monsters.
Not containing monsters. Or Red Bulls for not containing bulls that are red. There was one ingredient promised on the label, and the product only contained one ingredient, ground coffee beans.
Yeah. Sailors
Court finds it was
not
reasonable.
contain sailors. Just saying.
Yeah. So then he goes to non-binding decision about 100% claims that allegedly support extensions of law. Identifies 3 cases. The judge is going to say they don't apply. Notwithstanding the fact the court considers a decision in Jackson, yada, yada. In sum, Mr. Sheehan filed plaintiff's complaint without any studies, relevant case law, or reasonable interpretations of the wording on the product label to support the allegations contained within. Accordingly, for the above stated reasons and those the court articulated during the show cause hearing, the court concludes that Mr. Sheehan acted in bad faith when he commenced the action, and as such, the court holds Mr. Sheehan in contempt for his conduct in this matter. Conclusion. After carefully considering the entire file in this matter, the plenary submissions, and the oral arguments in the applicable law for the above stated reasons, the court hereby orders that attorney Spencer Sheehan is in civil contempt of court, and the court further reserves decision on the nature of final sanctions. Oh, he's getting curious as to what he wants to do.
Your hourly salary might be fucked.
I'm just
This is
wondering,
gonna
how does this guy
be,
make his money, like filing these claims
and
and
then
immediately withdrawing them?
it's got to be
But
press and retainers like that.
But you
What do
had
you?
the same within the Leibowitz in the the copyright troll, because he got his client
Hang on a second, I'll be right back.
sanctioned for over 100,000 because he made frivolous filings. So he got his client sanctioned for over 100,000. Lawful Masses, Leonard French, had this. He has lots of this. Leonard, what's his face? Richard Leibowitz. He has dozens of videos about this guy who did all of these frivolous lawsuits on copyright. And eventually, yeah.
I love that guy. Well, he's my favorite lawyer in the sense of like he is the most hilarious lawyer.
Yeah. And he has done dozens of videos about this Richard Leibowitz and I think he's now disbarred from at least 4 of U.S. States. But yeah, this is
I love Leonard French's coverage on that too.
Yeah, I've been. Leonard French is, when it comes to copyright, there's nobody else you want to watch, whatever it is. And this Richard Leibowitz guy, he has so many. I mean, I think in one, if it was North Carolina, he has close to 10,000 charge, something put towards, and it was deemed, all of them was said no, frivolous. And yeah, that's a rabbit hole you just don't want to go into, because no, don't.
And this is the point. So N1 ROI, sure, gets paid go away money. 1 out of 10 would still be worthwhile. And then Gwynnie Bly says, could he be fishing for settlements? Yeah. Essentially,
but I mean,
they're going to pay more money.
For like, I will throw a brick through your window.
And honestly, the going for settlements against companies like this, a lot of companies have insurance policies that will gladly pay very high-powered attorneys a significant amount of money, and the insurance company pays it. And that law firm comes in and they hit you hard. So it's not really the smartest move in the world. I think what he does, he probably files it, sees which companies have that insurance that pays to the high-powered law firm. High-powered law firm sends a letter, as in what we saw in that footnote. And he said that you people threaten sanctions all day. And then he goes and dismisses the case before they can file it. But the people that don't have the high-powered law firm, he continues litigating until they feel the need that they have to settle. And they're paying more, they're paying less in settlement than they would to hire separate attorneys of their own to actually litigate it.
Yeah.
Dude, these attorneys bring bad names to people.
Yeah, but these are attorneys who have found an area where they can make the most amount of money and in the shortest amount of time. But sooner or later, they will be caught doing these frivolous actions. And sadly, for instance, in the Leibowitz, he has been doing this for over a decade. And now, the last couple of years, he's getting sanctions. But before that, he is making bank on doing this.
That's something I talked about in the Take Care of Maya case. You know, Howard Hunter and his behavior was, if you apply the black letter standard of the law, it was sanctionable. But the likelihood of a court carrying out those sanctions is far lower than what the public would like. It's kind of a reality there. Let me catch up on super chats. Then we'll do a preview of the case we'll cover on Monday, and we'll get out of here because it's almost midnight my time. Nancy Robbins, thank you for the very generous super chat. Potassium is good for you. You need it. If you have low potassium, it's like sucking a Capri Sun for your heart. That's how my doctor explained it to me when I started having the deficiency. Getting infusions hurts. Oh, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
miserable.
Potassium in itself is really good for you. No question about it.
In moderation.
Yeah.
Just like everything. Crazy Cat Queen, what's Attorney Sheehan get for these frivolous lawsuits? The judge is still pondering. So that's what we've got going on.
He's getting paid.
No, Sheehan's going to have to pay somebody.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me see here. Annabelle, did you get a letter to your P.O. box? I think I did. I'll respond to you separately. JL, Rob, can you opine on law school plus ADHD? I lost my confidence during undergrad. ADHD plus COVID sucked and was wondering how you did it. I don't want to burn my money. JL, I was one of the people with ADHD that actually responded very well to medication. Some people don't have that. Some people, it's a learning exercise. You have to retrain your brain how to process information. Make the effort in addressing how you manage your ADHD. And every person's a little bit different. Find someone that you can trust. Find a way that you trust. Find a way that works for you. Battle that, and then do law school. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. Ian did it.
And I mean,
without
I'm barely
meds.
functional.
Yeah. Well, Nicholas, you are here. St. Nicholas, you are available, and you are, in fact, in a Santa hat. Jen K, charged for Disneyland streaker. I didn't see that. I'll look that up. XCDA, off-topic question. You say never ask a question in court that you don't know the answer to. Is that same for depositions, or is the point to get new info? Depots, different rule. Depots you want information. You want them talking a lot. Until the second and third depots, then you start to really hammer them.
And I've got a different formulation of that rule, because I would say never ask a question where the answer might hurt you. Because there are times when I will say, like, hey, I'm going to ask a question, and I know that there's multiple possible answers, but I don't know which one it is, but I don't care, because any of those answers will be great for me. You know, I'm just trying to think of a great example here of just like, you know, so was it you who lied, or was it, you know, the other person? Sometimes either of those answers could be fantastic for you, and they'll say, oh, the other person lied. And you're like, cool, that's great for me.
And in labor law, every new information you can use in labor law, because your opposing party, they never want to give you anything. So every kind of new information gives you, even if it's bad for you, yes, but it brings you forward and gives you new information you might be able to use.
And the other one is just like, did you do this because you didn't understand that you shouldn't do it, or did you knowingly violate the rule? It's like both answers are bad, because either they didn't pay attention to their legal requirements, or they blew past them intentionally. It's like, cool. Either answer is terrible, so give me whichever terrible answer you want to give me. And but you know, don't go asking like random questions that you're just fishing for stuff. If you don't know
you have a purpose in getting it. That's you have to have a direction you're going.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nathan says Nicholas comes to visit women just to say hi. Spontaneous exclamation says I heart Saint Nick. Don Burks, giving is a blessing. It is indeed. Alan Fortenberry, if you don't like the idea of rotting fish, then don't look up garum.
Oh, okay. I know
Garum.
exactly what he means.
Garum?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, I will not look that up, and I will disregard what I just saw. Beck's Fire. Go ahead.
How do you feel about Worcestershire sauce?
Worcestershire sauce?
Yeah,
Worcestershire sauce. It's depends on what you're doing with it, but
But
on
specifically,
itself,
Rob, how does he like it?
It's a loaded question. It's a loaded question.
Mhm.
On grilled cheese, Worcester sauce, amazing.
I
Just
mean,
saying.
I injected the turkey with it before I air fried it.
Do you know what it's made of?
I don't want to know now.
Okay.
Don't ruin this for me.
Oh, this is amazing.
Bex Fire Surströmming is great with lemon, parsley, potato salad, and garlic cucumber yogurt. Open can underwater. Ian, I watched his eating surströmming thing. There will be a day. There will be a day when I will try it.
Yeah.
Jill Higgins, love Nick as Santa, bringing joy to the kids. I don't have a lot of family to buy Hertz for. I guess what? So I started a toy drive for local kids. I love toy drives. This year we have 20 kids, and I am amazed at people's generosity. People are remarkably generous.
Yeah.
Ian, I did not mean to cut you off. You were talking about surströmming something.
I mean, it was fairly pleasant. I was like, yeah, this is not bad. I mean, the problem is getting a can here is like $100, so I'm not going to be eating it on the regular, but it was actually pretty tasty overall. Zora ate it, so
Yeah, but she eats
dogs will eat cat. Dogs will eat. Yeah, she eats Ethernet, and dogs eat cat shit too. Like it's a delicacy.
You can't speak about your client that way.
It's Zora's delicacy. It's not my delicacy. I can talk about her taste buds and her affinity for food.
You're throwing your client under the bus here.
That's true. I kind of did. Will the real Ray E please stand up? If memory serves, the original 3 ingredients allowed by purity law is clean water, wheat, and barley. I think yeast was added like 100 years later.
Yeah, the first beers in Bavaria, it was naturally fermented, or naturally, so they didn't use the actual yeast. They used the whatever came into the beer. That was what they used, but that's like in the 16th century. They improved the laws from there.
Well, that's the thing. Winter lasts, a blizzard in Montana, so I've started a lawn lumber ladies' night. Single malt scotch, cigars, and 90-year-olds. Women equals fun. Oh my God! Invite me to that fucking bonfire. That's got to be a blast.
Yeah, cigar. I mean, I have my cigar humidor up here and everything. I love cigars.
The number of stories that are probably circulating that bonfire. Oh my God. That's the thing. People, here's the thing. This is something I learned as a younger kid with 2 very eccentric grandparents. Always appreciate the opportunity to learn from people that are older than you or have more life experience than you, because the stories that you get are better than any fiction novel you could ever read. So 100% agree. Jill Higgins, love Nick and Santa. Oh, yep, caught that one. Thank you, Jill. Nancy Robbins, thanks for the gifted memberships. Nancy, that's exceedingly generous. You've been remarkably kind all evening and for the past month, 2 months, several, as have so many in the chat. Y'all are amazing. Gwynny Bly, being prudent is wise. We heart you, Rob. Thank you, Gwen. Dr. SB is a new member. Welcome. Jeremy Morton on 2X Replay. Embiggen is a perfectly cromulent word, Rob. I don't know what cromulent means. I'm learning new words.
You don't watch The Simpsons?
No, I did when I was younger. Oh, now I get it. Okay, there we go. Now I get it.
Another one. Heart Embiggen's the smallest man.
Rihanna Pinckney started to learn the watercolor because of my depression and anxiety. Thanks to you. That's really freaking cool. Thank you for such a kind and respectful community. It really means the world. Y'all, the making stuff, the activating your part of that brain and is a real thing to deal with a whole lot. It helps you process things, slow things down, approach life from a different side of your brain that you don't use every single day. Joshua, thanks to Gren for another great FNF, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you, Joshua. Very kind of you. Everyone have a great weekend. Hello, Nurse Mara. Potassium is one of the drugs used in lethal injection. It is, like I said, everything in excess can be lethal. Water in excess is lethal. You make a very plausible.
Take that much.
I'm currently searching for the limit of beer, but I still haven't found it.
It really doesn't take that much hammer to kill somebody. So,
oh my god,
Rob, you brought me on.
I did, and I did, and you have been a treat. Honestly, I swear, I love it.
The lethal dose of lead really depends on how fast it's going.
Oh no!
Lead poisoning is a real bad thing, especially
lethal dose of pillow, depending on how hard it's pressed. Oh gosh! All right, you make a very plausible Santa, Nicholas. He does, and he has. Nicholas has one of the best laughs in the whole world. It really is. Look, and there's Saint Nicholas. He's hanging out with Nicholas in the background. No, Nicholas has one of the best laughs I've ever heard.
Oh, thank you
so much. It's so genuine because it's like when he laughs, it's a belly laugh. Like he's just off. Azam, spending my Saturday morning with you. Have a nice rest. Thank you, Azam. Very glad to see you. Thanks for being here. Gwen, P.S. You can call me Gwen. It's still me. It is still you. I hope you got the pens and loved them. Lynn Britton, enjoy listening after being in the hospital with two back surgeries.
Oh,
cheers to a rapid recovery.
Oh.
Rapid recovery.
That's not something you want the high score on.
No.
Oh no.
And cheers to you getting off the meds that they give you in a safe and quick fashion, and a rapid recovery, and back on your feet as soon as you can.
I've been through that, and it's not enjoyable. And yeah.
Baby steps. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Nancy Robbins just showing me up with thank you for the additional super chat. Exceedingly kind. Heather, I agree about making things help. I lost my mom at the end of October, and I'm currently completing some cross stitch as I watch this, and it helps. Heather, I am sorry for the loss. It is never easy to lose a loved one, especially a parent. I'm glad that you find relief and comfort where you can. Go through all the steps of the grieving.
Yeah.
It'll take time, and give yourself that time.
Yeah, me and my siblings, we were from the 20s to teenagers when we lost mom. I know it's hard, and but with the right with support from your father, relatives, everything, you will get through it.
Yep.
With love. That's it.
Yep. Hello, Nurse Mara. Thank you for becoming a member. Okay, we're going to swoop to the last preview of a story. Old swoop or new swoop?
Yes, both swoops.
Both swoops. Preview of story. So, there was a brand that I didn't realize was as large a brand, I guess, as it is. Casetify removes from sale all inside-out cases as DBrand shows how it detected its images.
Is this computer
DBrand?
stuff?
Go ahead.
This is my brand. It's salted breadsticks, and for no reason.
I'm kind of thinking I need to order some sort of food, but because I'm sick, I'm thinking I might just message. I might just. There's a Chinese food place that I like, and that actually kind of likes me, because at one point my payment didn't go through, and they're like, "We know you're good for it. We're sending the food anyway," which tells you that you've ordered way too much Chinese food from this place. But I'm probably going to order I'm I'm just gonna be like, I need 4 wonton soups, and just like, yeah.
Oh, I got a new. I've got a new
I know
PayPal.
that bottle pop.
Yep. Thank you. That is what. Thank you. This is one of these people who
Nicholas shows up on my stream and gets a PayPal while on my stream.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
That is so perfect, though. Come on, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've got to get a PayPal link.
Yeah. So thank you, because this is one of these people who have a different name on YouTube than on PayPal, and hold on, I will read. Thanks for what you do, love you, and yeah, sure, cheers.
Cheers to that. Remarkably attentive. That's loyalty. That's awesome. That is awesome to see that that's a community you built. That's so freaking cool that they're here and they're supporting. I love this stuff.
And all of them want to see me absolutely plastered, because when I am drunk, me kind of tend to buy gifts to sober me, and drunk me likes to go online on Amazon and eBay and buy me stuff, and I may or may not have a lot of things on the way.
Drunk Niklaus, novelty-sized dildo.
Oh my god! Oh no! See, I was sitting here about to say this. Like, look, like Niklaus, you mean like that, like the thing in the background that's the lighting up thing. The drunk me buys little gifts for myself. No, Ian went a direction that I did not see coming. That's and there's a follow-up joke to that. Everyone can see a giant dildo coming. Oh god. Oh no. Okay,
but from Amazon so far, I have because of my members, they said I have a red tartan necktie coming. I have a head massager coming. I have
which head?
Cat. I hope. Oh god. I have a cat costume because of Jingles, and cat toys because of Jingles. That is what's on the way because of my members, and my members are amazing. I can't thank them enough. I seriously can't thank them, because I know my name is out there, but my address isn't. But they don't care, so they send me stuff on top of what drunk me sent sober me. So somewhere around just before Christmas, if all the packages come here, I will have an opening of gifts stuff. But yeah,
that's
I'm amazed.
Really that's really funny.
My chat is amazing. I just have to say that, and Rob knows most of them. Most of my chat comes from the legal voices, but I mean, the loyalty from them is astounding. I have never experienced anything like this.
Well, and it's cool because there's and what's fun, what I have found is fun about a lot of dynamic is every single creator, every single content creator has their own vibe. They have their own thing. They talk about their own level
Vibe,
and their
you
own
say.
What vibe?
Yeah.
Every single creator, everyone that's talking about these law cases has a different style of talking about them. And I can appreciate all the different versions and all the different styles to how they comment. You don't have to enjoy all of them. You can find the person or people that suits your fancy, suits the way that you want to have the conversation discussed. They're there.
Yeah.
They're all there. And I like the respect that gets shown across the channels. Like Niklas comes here and it's F and F. So you get to be a little bit funny. You get to have some fun, but it's respectful.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that dynamic play out across the various channels and the community that exists in every independent channel. And then the ones that kind of overlap a little bit. It's really cool to see that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been doing law for over 30 years in labor law. This means stoic. And all of a sudden I get to express myself. I get to yell at prosecutors. I get to yell at defense lawyers. I get to yell at the the judge. Nothing of this, what I'm doing online, I'm allowed to on my day-to-day thingies, because I have to be so stoic. But my channel and my viewers allows me to express myself, and it's so amazing. And then in the middle of everything, they bring in legal issues that I haven't thought of.
Some of the smartest people exist in these chats. It is so cool.
Yeah, because I can sit and discuss for now the Young Thug Rico trial, and I'm bashing in on it, and then I see a comment, and then, that one knows more than I do in my chat. And it's amazing. That's what that means. And it forces me to rethink or reevaluate things. And it's amazing. And I always encourage my chat and my viewers challenge me, because I don't know all of the things. And when they do, it's amazing. It's simply amazing.
Yeah.
Cheers to the chat, to Rob, Ian, my chat. Thank you, because you are all amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Different opinions from everybody, and I love all of them. I love all the takes. So, all right, so let's preview the last case, and we'll get out of here. Okay. So the last case is this one, Casetify. So these are actual cases. So they're cases / skins that you put on devices, kind of like that case. But what was very clever was DBrand started creating these particular skins that looked like the internal guts of the machine that you were wrapping it with, right? So you had this inside view, so it looked like your machine was transparent. And what was fascinating about this particular case is Casetify comes out with their own version of it. Well, quote unquote, their own version of it. Let me see if I can't find one part of it, because I want Ian to find the actual document. But the one thing that I saw on this lawsuit that was very fascinating to me was, oh, dang it. Hang on. Give me 1 sec. I had it pulled up. The teardowns. It's this article. So one of the fascinating aspects about this was this. There's some pretty strong evidence backing the accusations. They spotted the many Easter eggs. So when DBrand went out there and they created this, they put in Easter eggs in their schematic. Things that were not, technically speaking, 100% accurate, but were like attributes of the company, or they were signposting to things of significance, including this one, R0807 tag, which appears to be on one of the chips, which alludes to DBrand's tagline as a brand run by robots, as in robot, R0807, robot. So that happens to appear not just on the DBrand skin and not in the actual original device, but it also appears on the Casetify skin. And if you're trying to make an argument that someone poached your stuff, it's a pretty good place to start.
I love how everything old is new again. Because this is really this is an old tactic. This is trap streets. You know what you guys know what trap streets are?
You're gonna have to refresh my recollection. The name is familiar. I just need to
so one of the problems map makers had is that a lot of the map information is not copyrightable,
yep.
right? Like
there it is, cartographers. Yeah.
The simple fact that a street exists is not copyrightable. However, you can actually you can pursue a case against somebody who directly copied your stuff. And so how do you do that? Well, you do that by how do you prevent those people from doing it? You put a fake street down. And so that fake street just said, and it's a street that doesn't actually exist. And they would actually have entire towns sometimes on maps that don't actually exist. But their entire purpose is just somebody who is not doing their own work copies the map and they get that fake street there. So this is kind of that, although I kind of get the feeling that it wasn't so much intended as a trap street thing as just they were having fun with it, but it ended up being trap streets. So
I think this is going to be, I think this lawsuit's kind of neat. Now I wished this was the one pleading, because these pleadings always have receipts. I wanted this pleading really bad, and I hope you can find it. It would be really cool if you could. But
I'm going to try my best. I can tell you that
it's not going to be easy.
Recovering Canadian pleadings is a miserable heap of crap, and basically means I may have to actually get a friendly lawyer in. This is out of Ontario, isn't it? Out of Toronto?
I think so.
Bring the suit. Yeah, I may actually have to get somebody to physically walk into the Toronto courthouse to do it.
So 117 designs copied. So I guess I want to wait. I want Ian to cover that. That's really fun.
It's I'm just checking it. It's close to 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and I kind of need a bit of sleep before my Saturday streams. So I'm kind of thinking of butting out. But thank you, Rob, for allowing me on.
Well, before you go, where can we see you? And what do you cover?
I am currently covering the Young Thug Rico trial from gavel to gavel.
Oh my gosh, that case is a cluster.
That is a clusterfuck of cluster. I mean,
you can say it. Go ahead.
You can't imagine what a cluster F this is. And I've been covering it since May. I've been covering this freaking case since May. And it's just keep getting more and more of a cluster F. But I will... last week, I did a live stream, Monday to Friday. Next week, I will do, because I still work. I do labor law. So everything has to do with what I can do. But I will cover this case from gavel to gavel. Currently, it says 6 to 9 months. I think this case will go on for more than a year.
How many mistrials?
None so far.
You don't think we're gonna get one?
The defense has 4 motions of mistrial on
And all of them should have been granted.
All of them should have been granted, and all of them are up to an appellate court. So, in more or less, if the appellate court says, "Yeah, we will grant this one," the trial stops.
This is the case. This is the case where the law and crime, or not law and crime, one of the whoever had the camera in the courtroom showed the jury.
Yeah. The front row
They're not.
of
They
the
didn't
juror.
grant the mistrial for that.
Nope.
I would have wanted the mistrial if I was one of the jurors, because you're sitting there like, "Oh, right, this is a RICO trial over
gang members,
violence."
Yeah, violence, gang members, everything. But
And I'm like,
the judge said we will handle it as it goes along, and this is more or less what he has done towards the prosecution for over a year of pre-trial motions, Docket hearings, everything.
Because if I'm in that jury, I'm just like, did law and crime just get me killed?
Yeah. And the last 2 days, we are not allowed to show the witnesses on the stand for some reason. But
Probably because
apparently,
they're worried about getting killed.
Yeah, but apparently 4 or 5 of the jurors being their faces out, and that's not enough. I mean, this case is, it's such, there are words I cannot express on YouTube or Rumble, the amount of clusterfuck this case is. But I've been following this case since May of 2023. I will keep. Yeah, it's astounding that they are allowing in prior acts and stuff like that under the Georgia RICO Act, because the Georgia RICO Act is so wide and so vague, and it has never been challenged on a federal level. So and this is the same prosecutional team.
Yep, I know. As the Trump prosecutor.
As the Trump prosecutor.
Yep. And the same law that's being prosecuted. It's a really interesting, the law itself and how expansive it is really pretty interesting. And I think the court's going to have to take that up at some point, but whoa. But that's what you can check out on Nicholas Starro Trial Watch. And I did link his channel is linked in the description of the video. So if you click the description, you can see that. And I also posted in the chat a minute ago. So check him out if you can. He's going to get to bed because it's 6 o'clock in the morning, his time.
Oh, it's 6:23 in the morning, and tomorrow it's still I am doing the Jodi Arias trial, the cross-examination of Jodi Arias, and I have my also tomorrow I have my serial killer Saturday with Eileen Vonis, the Florida female serial killer.
Nice.
So I have two streams on Saturday. But thank you so much for having me on. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, my baby brother Ian. And thank you so much for having me here. And I will do my best to entertain you all. But I need some sleep, at least once a day. Thank you all.
Thank you for being here, Nick. Thank you. Much appreciated. Night, bud.
Bye-bye.
It was what a treat. Okay, let's get through these and I'll wrap because it's 12:23 my time. Nancy Robbins, I sent you a message on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. Thank you, Nancy. I'll check that. I can't call it X either. Megan Brogdon, my ADHD me buys autistic me presents all the time. Gwen Bly, each chat has its own atmosphere. Heart, all of you. Thank you, Gwen. Very kind of you. Will the real Ray E please stand up? My brother that I only see 3 times per year and I bonded over T-Day over our respective LawTube fandom. He is an Nate the Lawyer fanboy, but I represent the Ellen Runkle of the Bailey. Yeah, Ray E. That's awesome. That is so cool.
Although I gotta say, Nate's also pretty cool. I like Nate.
Nate is too, but it's fun how much the overlap exists, and I cheer on everyone who's creating content on this place. Studio Owl, glad you caught this one, Rob. Thanks for streaming. Hopefully we get those pleadings. Not sure if we will, but hopefully we do. Cat W, thank you for the stream tonight, guys. Migraine Brain Cat likes to buy all the save for later items in the Amazon cart. Entertaining for non-migraine me when I start getting notifications items are out for delivery. Yeah, there was a time that my mom was taking sleeping medications. We would get K cups in the 500s quantity at the house. It was quite enjoyable and hilarious. All right, so we're gonna wrap here. Ian, we're gonna catch you on Monday. What else you covering? What else you doing?
So I just
besides recovering yourself and not being sick.
Oh, I'm pretty bad at that. So I just put out a video on a lawyer who went full sovereign citizen. And you don't want to go full sovereign citizen or even partially sovereign citizen as a lawyer. I think she's gonna enter a world of find out with the Law Society. But so that's fun. So soon I think tomorrow I'm gonna cover Jussie Smollett's appeal getting thrown out.
Ooh, I saw that. I just didn't get to read up on it.
I might save it for Monday. Because the other thing on the table is Canada. They're talking about banning any magazine for a firearm that has a capacity of more than 5, or that can be modified to have a capacity more than 5, which is basically all the magazines. Because the vast majority, like a huge number of magazines on the Canadian market, are ones that have been modified in that sense. I also want to cover, and I'm going to do a video on this soon. Baldwin, some of his video from the Rust movie got released. And so, what is it? I want to talk about that and sort of what it says about his likelihood of getting convicted, and just how the more information the other side has on you, the worse it's going to be for you in any sort of proceeding. So we'll talk about that. So I got a bunch of stuff on my plate, and yeah, it should be fun. So
sleep is on there too, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
CV X = 10. Love the Romans.
Yeah, sleep. Hardly know her, or never met her.
But all right, folks, that's gonna do it for us this evening. I will be back probably next Friday. I don't know. I'm gonna do a member stream next week. I'll announce that. So keep an eye on the community post. I will let that know. Don't forget the Gundies again. I wasn't forgetting. What I was doing when Ian was talking was typing the link into the description of the video where you can go and vote for Ian for the Gundies. So for those of you catching on replay, it is in the description itself. You can go and click that link and please go vote for Ian for his either most dapper or video of the year or
both.
Yep. It's in Las Vegas next year. Ian in Las Vegas with maybe Rob. I don't know, but possible. All right, we're gonna give it a wrap. To all of you, thank you for being here. I'm gonna make Ian get some sleep. Y'all, if you're doing anything this weekend, take some time, make something, have some fun, and with that, we will catch you next time. Bye, everybody.